It's not clear yet how private second-class Travis King was able to leave an airport in South Korea, where he was scheduled to be sent back to the U.S. for disciplinary action. Instead, defense officials say he joined a tour group in civilian clothes, ultimately crossing the border into North Korea, where he was detained by the North Korean military.
Security most times is quite heavy, but our contacts tell us ever since leader Kim Jong-un shut down.
There we are.
Hi.
Happy Tuesday. Today's YouTube live chat poll, we are wondering, have you bought or are you buying a Powerball ticket? Yes or no?
I had to look up when the drawings are. Apparently they're Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So you have a day.
I thought they were on the weekend.
Well, maybe it's also on the week. I was just looking up the next ones.
And that's not important right now.
Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday.
Saturday? Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
All right, so we are wondering, are you going to buy a Powerball ticket? Yes or no? Vote on the poll and then leave a comment of why or why not you would be purchasing a ticket. At 12:45, Wiggins is going to be talking about what to do and what not to do if you win.
Because you could, you could be walking away with almost $1 billion, not quite. And
it's going to be $1 billion.
By the time they draw, you think it'll be $1 billion?
I think it is.
Well, it said 900 million at the moment, but that also.
Oh yeah, for sure it'll be $1 billion.
Yeah.
We'll get our Powerball facts updated.
So I will tell you exactly what to do if you win.
Probably the least important thing on the show.
It is by far.
All right,
by
moving
far, 'cause
ahead.
there's a lot of big news there.
At 1:05, Jim Carafano is going to join us. He's the Vice President for Foreign and Security Policy at the Heritage Foundation. He'll be with us at 1:05. 1:25, Representative Jason Smith is going to be joining the show. He represents Missouri's 7th District and will be with us. He also is the chairman of the House Ways and Means Committee. So 1:25, Jason Smith will be with us.
Yeah, and then top of the show, I think, probably be breaking news. So stick around here for another couple minutes.
Jason Smith is going to talk to us about the IRS whistleblower investigation and all that other stuff. So there's some late breaking news with that as well.
Oh, okay. Cool. Yeah, it's going to be a busy
day.
Busy day. Woke up and it was like, uh-oh, here we go.
Here we go.
All right. So stick around.
Too tired to play catch, Grandpa.
Sweetie, you haven't touched your tools since the carpal tunnel syndrome diagnosis.
If these seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, talk to your cardiologist. Ask about transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy, or ATTR-CM, a rare and underdiagnosed disease that gets worse over time. Learn more at connecttoyourheart.com. That's connecttoyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Changeable clouds out there throughout the afternoon, and there will be scattered thunderstorms once again. 89 for the high. Tonight, scattered thunderstorms this evening and overnight, some possibly strong to severe. 75 for the overnight low. Wednesday and Thursday, the extreme heat is going to stay away, but we're still talking 92. Wednesday and Thursday, partly sunny. Each day brings spot storms. This is 97.1 FM Talk Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Men, are you suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE? The medical providers at Paramount Men's Medical Center offer breakthrough treatments that eliminate problems in the bedroom without pain or surgery. 98% of men see instant results on their first office visit. Listen to a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Paramount Men's Medical Center offers breakthrough medical treatments that eliminate ED and PE. Men are even lasting 90 minutes or longer, regardless of age or medical history.
But that's not all. For a limited time only, call Paramount Men's Medical Center now and your initial consultation and first treatment are completely free. You'll see instant results right in the office. You'll even get a gift that enhances your performance in the bedroom. All this, worth hundreds of dollars, is free if you call now. 314-720-8081. 314-720-8081. That's 314-720-8081.
Mark Cox here. Join me, Annie Frey, and Mark Reard, along with Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw of the Retirement Advisory Group for the next Protecting Your Retirement educational event. It's Tuesday, August 8th at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30. Seats are limited, so go online to retirementkey.com. Here's Thomas with more.
Are you getting near retirement or wondering if you'll be able to live the same lifestyle as you are now? Do you worry about losing your nest egg in the next big market correction? Did you know if you're 59 and a half or older, you can roll over your company retirement plan tax-free to protect your nest egg and provide more income than most investment options? Would you like to know why linking to the market is safer than owning the market? You'll get all the answers and more. If you're 59 and a half or older, you don't want to miss this event.
Protect your retirement nest egg. Join the official financial advisors of my show, Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw, Tuesday, August 8th at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30. Go online to retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
For a hole in your roof or a whole new roof, Frederick Roofing.
Over 90,000 satisfied customers since 1929. Frederick Roofing, 314-645-2000.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
I'm Jim Onder. No one should be injured or be the victim of assault when using a rideshare service. These companies need to be held accountable.
Onder Law Personal Injury Lawyers. Visit getjim.com.
We all know about the speed of sound, but have you ever thought about the sounds of speeding? Drive too fast and you could hear the sound of your vehicle crashing, because one way or another, speeding catches up with you. Paid for by NHTSA.
Refresh, restore, and protect your investment. Call Zero Res to clean your business the right way so your floors and surfaces stay cleaner longer without the harmful chemicals the other guys use. Call 314-474-2020. Ask for the Mark Reardon special or book online at ZeroResSTL.com. You spell it backward or forward, it spells the same. Zero Res.
This hour of the Annie Frey Show is brought to you by Ruler Foods. Low prices, no coupons. Ruler Foods.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
As President Biden, there have been questions about the work your son has done in China and for a Ukrainian energy company when you were vice president. In retrospect, was anything about those relationships inappropriate or unethical?
Nothing was unethical.
President Biden's brother and son are both under investigation. Officials are looking into their business dealings overseas.
Hunter Biden's business associates sent over $1 million to free up their family members. Any reaction to that report?
That's not true.
That's not true, President Biden says about Hunter Biden. How many times has this man been asked about his son's business dealings? And before you get all bent out of shape, those business dealings, the big question here is about whether or not they point back to the president of the United States. Lots of presidential criminal news today and this week. And you're in the right place if you want to know the details on what is taking place right now. We have news today that the president says he is the target of a January 6th investigation. He expects to be indicted and potentially arrested. And we've been here. We've seen this. This will be time number 3, and it continues to mount. It's not the last time that we anticipate that we will have something like this happen to the president, the former president. When we listened to that clip there right at the beginning of Kevin McCarthy's video that he showed behind closed doors to House members, we're about to find out what these whistleblowers are going to say this week in front of the House committee. And Kevin McCarthy, the speaker, showed this video to House Republicans to walk them through exactly what the concerns are regarding Hunter Biden, money that he was paid, taxes that he didn't pay, connections that were there that existed with Joe Biden, and the biggest question that we have right now of all, what did the systems that are in place, the establishment swamp, if you will, what did they do to further this investigation or to hinder this investigation? Here's that full clip from Kevin McCarthy, his video to these House Republicans.
As President Biden, there have been questions about the work your son has done in China and for a Ukrainian energy company when you were vice president. In retrospect, was anything about those relationships inappropriate or unethical?
Nothing was unethical.
President Biden's brother and son are both under investigation. Officials are looking into their business dealings overseas.
Hunter Biden's business associates sent over $1 million to 3 of their family members. Any reaction to that report?
That's not true. My son has not made money in terms of this thing about, what are you talking about, China.
CBS News has learned that more than 150 transactions involving either Hunter or James Biden's global business affairs were flagged as concerning by U.S. banks for further review. Some of those concerns included large wire transfers.
The most comprehensive statement we have is from the White House Chief of Staff, and that was earlier this week. And he said that the president is confident his family did the right thing, adding these actions by Hunter and James are private matters and don't involve the president.
Gary Shapley has been at the IRS for 14 years and told us that the way the Hunter Biden investigation was conducted was, in his words, quote, outside the norm.
I have never discussed with my son or my brother or anyone else anything having to do with their businesses, period.
President Biden, how involved were you in your son's Chinese shakedown text message? Were you sitting there? Were you involved?
No, I wasn't, and I don't.
Were you?
No. Shapley, who is still working for the IRS, told us that even before President Biden took office, he was directed to avoid leads involving Hunter's father.
I'm honest.
There were certain investigative steps that we weren't allowed to take that could have led us to President Biden.
And you wanted to take them?
We needed to take them.
And you weren't allowed to take them?
That's correct.
So this is the video. That is the case that Kevin McCarthy made. And the very compelling thing about all of those juxtaposed clips are reporters asking President Biden, what do you know? Do you know anything? Were you involved? Denial after denial after denial after denial. When Kevin McCarthy is talking about the whistleblowers that are, there's two of them. I think there's just two of them. They're going to be testifying this week. These questions are going to come out into the open. And if you want to take before the record is politicized, because it's going to be the ping pong match of Republicans, shaking their fists at the sky about how the institutions pulled back from Hunter Biden and, threw in roadblocks every which possible way that they could. You're going to see Democrats trying to smear these individuals, maybe some of them, maybe not all of them. They're going to try to make the case that this is a conspiratorial theory by Republicans who can't leave Hunter Biden alone, and then this is not worth the investment of the taxpayer dollars. I just adore when they acknowledge the fact that taxpayer dollars are potentially being wasted on Capitol Hill. It's where the Democrats will step in, and they will have a consistency that this is all being done by Republicans. Why? Because of Donald Trump.
Well, Anna, this kicks off a familiar pattern here for Donald Trump, where he essentially scoops the justice system, announcing ahead of time in a New York case that he was to be indicted, in the documents case that he had been indicted, in this case that he's a target of an investigation in which he believes he will be indicted. The former president posting two lengthy missives on Truth Social this morning, laying out the fact that he says he received this target letter on Sunday night after a weekend spent at a conservative conference in Florida, telling him that he has 4 days to report to the grand jury, which he says, and which I think Ken will support, almost always means an arrest and indictment is coming. He goes on to make.
So when NBC is reporting on Donald Trump and Donald Trump's claims today that he's prepared to be indicted once again, and you say to yourself, good grief, this is coming out in a timely manner. They're both happening. Who's scooping who here? I don't know. Because every time we get a new major drop in the Hunter Biden story, or in the Hunter Biden, Joe Biden potential connection of nefarious business deals taking place across the globe, then Donald Trump, they have all of these indictments stacked up. And it's kind of starting to make me understand why maybe they need to have 4 or 5 of them, because that's how much information is going to be pouring out into your ears and my ears and our our eyesight about what Hunter Biden's been doing because there's so much crap there that they can't cover it all up. The statement from Donald Trump, and I think it's important that we include this, and he posted on Truth Social. And I will just highlight that when I Googled Truth Social or Trump, I wrote Truth Social Trump in Google, and it auto-populated tweets. So they're calling them tweets on Truth Social, which I find interesting. Donald Trump put out a statement, and this is what it says. Wow. On Sunday night, while I was with my family, having just arrived from the Turning Point event in Florida, where I won the straw poll against all other Republican candidates with 85.7%, with all polls showing me leading in the Republican primary by very substantial numbers, almost everyone predicting that I will be the Republican nominee for president. And as I am leading Democrat Joe Biden in the polls by a lot, horrifying news for our country was given to me by my attorneys. Deranged Jack Smith, the prosecutor with Joe Biden's DOJ, sent a letter, again, it was Sunday night, stating that I am a target of the January 6th grand jury investigation and giving me a very short 4 days to report to the grand jury, which almost always means an arrest and indictment. So now Joe Biden's Attorney General, Merrick Garland, who I turned down for the United States Supreme Court, in retrospect, based on his corrupt and unethical actions, a very wise decision, together with Joe Biden's Department of Justice, have effectively issued a third indictment and arrest of Joe Biden's number one political opponent, who is largely dominating him in the race for the presidency. Nothing like this has ever happened in our country before, or even close. They illegally spied on my campaign, attacked me with a totally fake dossier that was funded by Hillary Clinton's campaign and the DNC, impeached me twice. I won. They failed on the Mueller witch hunt, no collusion. They failed on the Russia hoax, the 51 intelligence agents fraud, the FBI Twitter files, the DOJ Facebook censorship, and every other scam imaginable. But on top of all of that, they have now effectively indicted me 3 times. The DOJ staffed and runs the DA's office in Manhattan, with a probable fourth coming from Atlanta, where the DOJ are in strict and possibly illegal coordination with the district attorney, whose record on murder and other violent crime is abysmal. This witch hunt is all about election interference and a complete and total political weaponization of law enforcement. It is a very sad and dark period for our nation. These are the comments that are coming from former President Donald Trump, seeking office to be your president once again in 476 days when that election takes place. And we're seeing these indictments come down in what seems to be a structurally political way. What are you going to do about all of it? Because when we look at the president's polling numbers, they are steady. The national polling numbers for Donald Trump have hovered right above 50%. Yesterday, I looked at, and DeSantis was 19.7% nationally. DeSantis is up to 20.2%, and Trump is at 53.7%. So both of them gained a little bit, but it's Donald Trump's race to lose. And we're seeing more effort and action from Joe Biden's Justice Department to eliminate Donald Trump from the race than we are seeing Joe Biden's actual effort to run in the actual race when he is the guy who they are saying is the nominee. I don't buy it for a second. Where do we go from here? How do we know what is true? Did Donald Trump do something worthy of indictment? It's impossible for any of us to know because they have been so partisan and so incredibly unfair in the way they've pursued these two men and their families. Listen to Tucker.
But because Joe Biden and his many allies, from Chuck Schumer to Mitch McConnell to Paul Ryan and every single news anchor on all of television, all of them believe that Ukraine, its borders, its future, its infrastructure are all more important than the town that you live in. They sincerely think that, and it's obvious. Everyone in power thinks that, except for Donald Trump. Whatever else you say about him, Trump is the one guy with an actual shot at becoming president who dissents from Washington's long-standing pointless war agenda. And for that one fact, they're trying to take Trump out before you can vote for him. And that should upset you more than anything that's happened in American politics in your lifetime.
Tucker says it right there. They're trying to take Donald Trump out before you can vote for him. They are so incredibly scared that if you're left to your own devices, if you're left to your own wits, that you might incorrectly choose Donald Trump to run and win this presidency in 2024. They can't let that happen. And the American people don't trust the institutions that are put in place right now to apply a fair and equitable justice system. If you don't have a fair and equitable justice system, you cannot have a country. What makes America, America is that you, as a citizen, collectively with the rest of Americans, are in a position of authority. But if the people who you grant through elections and through your vote abuse the systems that we have in place to ensure that fairness, lawfulness, equality with application of the law, to ensure that that is in place, if we cannot trust those people to not abuse those systems, then it seems to me like we get one more shot at it. And it'll be this next election. I don't know how it's going to go, but we are in for a wild ride. Cully Stimson with Heritage Foundation is going to join us when we get back here, so don't go away. I'm going to ask him to lay the groundwork for us. Where have we been? Where are we going? Donald Trump's truth post there suggests he's just got mere days to reply to this grand jury letter that he received. We'll get the legal expertise from Cully Stimson when we come back. Okay.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
Michael's Flooring Outlet is online at igotfloored.com. If you have questions about your flooring purchase, you visit igotfloored.com. And you can do the live chat that's right there. You can ask your basic questions. You can also request an estimate. Simple to do by going onto their website. You can learn about their different products that they have and also read some of the reviews. It's always key to me to, if I'm going to make a big investment, and generally speaking, flooring is not going to be a small investment. When you go to a place and you're entrusting your budget for a quality product for a great value, you go to Michael's Flooring Outlet, you can see there how many people are giving them these great reviews on Google, and take my word for it, take their word for it, go into the store and see how they can help you go through this purchase. When you are looking into carpeting, and I love carpeting, when you are visiting Michael's Flooring Outlet, they're going to show you the different kinds of brands that they have. They're going to let you walk over and feel the different types of padding that you can get, which is where an investment might increase a little bit. But when you walk on it, you're going to understand quickly, oh, okay, this is an investment worth my money. This is the type of stuff that they provide you before you make that purchase. Find them online at igotfloored.com.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-652-5241 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-652-5241. That's 800-652-5241. What do you have to lose? Call 800-652-5241. Again, 800-652-5241.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/radio. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands to treat ED at up to 95% off. That's right, the same active ingredient as the brand name for 95% less. It's the same ED medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/radio. That's 4hims.com/radio for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/RADIO.
Surprise! Surprise! You know, surprise parties, they can be fun, right? Well, financial surprises, not so much, especially when you're retired, like finding out you owe more in taxes than you thought you would, or having to go back to work to make ends meet. Maybe you think you'll be okay, but why not double check just to be sure? Call Marvin Mitchell at Compass Retirement Solutions and schedule a retirement double check. Marvin and his team have been helping families plan for retirement for more than 15 years. Call 314-373-1598 to schedule your retirement double check with Marvin Mitchell at Compass Retirement Solutions. That's 314-373-1598. Don't let a financial surprise derail your retirement dreams. Give Marvin and the team a call, 314-373-1598. Firm offers insurance services, investments, and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and in Illinois.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
97.1 FM Talk. You're here, and so are St. Louis's conservative thought leaders. St. Louis's home for conservative talk. 97.1 FM Talk.
Used to keep it cool, used to be a fool, all about
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Used to keep it cool. Should I keep it light, stay out of the fight? No one's gonna listen to me. If I write a song, preaching what is wrong, will they let me sing on TV? Should I keep it light? Is that right?
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. It's a busy news day. We are preparing to see the whistleblowers that have said, you know what, this Hunter Biden stuff with his business deals and the investigations that were taking place, they've come out and say there's some stuff that you need to be paying attention to here. That's going to be taking place this week. But just today, we find out that President Trump has received a letter and has 4 days, I think he said, to report for this grand jury situation. And we don't know. We're not experts. I'm not an expert. We need an expert to talk about us and tell us, all right, what's going on in this scenario? So we bring our friend Cully Stimson back on the show with us. Cully, welcome back to the show with the Heritage Foundation. We appreciate you. What can you tell us about what we have learned today regarding the Trump indictment?
So Jack Smith, the special counsel, sent Trump or his lawyers a target letter, which is a weird critter because it basically says, hey, citizen, you're target of a criminal investigation, but we invite you to come down and testify in front of our friendly grand jury to see if that could help you. Now, a lot of people don't take up the invitation. You saw Trump's post on Truth Social. He's obviously giving Jack Smith the middle finger, like a lot of defendants would. But he has 4 days, that is Trump has 4 days, in which he can appear before Jack Smith's grand jury. I'm quite sure his attorneys will say no. And in fact, I think they have already told him no, and they've announced that he's not going to do so. So the target letter really ups the stakes because it basically says, we're not saying we're going to indict you, but it's pretty likely we're going to indict you. And last time he got a target letter from Jack Smith, it resulted in the indictment for the classified document. So this ups the stakes substantially on a legal standpoint.
So, Cully, I keep hearing people say this January 6th grand jury target. What is this case about? What is Donald Trump being potentially indicted for?
Well, I don't know. And of course, typically the prosecutor doesn't tell the public about what the charges are before they unseal an indictment. But from all the reporting that's out there, and it doesn't look like there's been a lot of leaking from inside Smith's team, some sort of crime or crimes related to January 6th, such as, conspiracy to incite violence, conspiracy to incite insurrection, conspiracy to, something of that flavor. What it is he actually is considering or charges they're actually considering is anyone's guess. But, I was a prosecutor in that D.C. U.S. Attorney's Office. Those juries in D.C. Tend to acquit murderers or at least hang up on murder cases, but I'm sure they're going to be more than happy to convict Donald Trump if a case was ever brought in the district. So even if it got that far, I'm sure they would move for a change of venue to get it out of D.C. to a normal place.
Well, we're speaking with Senior Legal Fellow at Heritage Foundation, Cully Stimson. I'm hearing a lot of ifs in your statements, and we don't know yet, there's a process here that's going to have to unfold. What do you think, or what are you anticipating might be the likely outcome of this particular instance for us non-legal eagles who are watching on the edge of our seat to see yet again an indictment of former President Trump?
Well, notice, Annie, I haven't gone down the political road because there are all sorts of political ramifications here, especially on top of everything else that's happening, the weaponization of the FBI, the intelligence services by this administration, and by entrenched senior-level bureaucrats against President Trump when he was even the president. I'm just trying to stick on the legal side of the fence here because everyone has their opinion on the political side. Of course, every time he's been indicted, his poll numbers have gone up. We've seen that as a fact. And so I don't think this indictment, if it ever comes down, is going to change anyone's mind. It may harden their resolve for or against him. But as a legal matter, we don't know whether the target letter will result in an indictment. If it results in an indictment, then we'll have to read it, and I'll be happy to come back on your show and sort of walk you through it in human terms of what it means and what he's looking at. And of course, this would be the third indictment. You have the Stormy Daniels stupid state law case from Alvin Bragg, the rogue prosecutor. You have Jack Smith's case on the classified document, and now potentially Jack Smith on January 6th. I mean, as a legal matter, it's got to be very complicated for his attorneys, and he probably has to have different teams handling this. So this further complicates his legal matters. The classified documents case is a serious case. The Stormy Daniels case is a really dumb case, as we've written about at Daily Signal. We'll see what happens with this case if it turns into a case.
We're speaking with Cully Stimson, who is with the Heritage Foundation. We appreciate your time today on this issue. I would imagine that the political hay that can be made from a lot of the speculation of what could possibly come could benefit both sides of the aisle, and we will have to watch and endure all of that. 476 days until the election. I'm thinking right now about the balance between focusing on Donald Trump and his continued and mounting legal concerns, and then you shift over and you look at Hunter Biden, connections to Joe Biden, evidence that they have where Joe Biden is sitting in the room while Hunter Biden's making threats. And I had to laugh because there's the Babylon Bee article that said that Hunter Biden was referring to his heavenly father when he said that. It was a good article by the Babylon Bee.
You gotta love the Babylon Bee.
Yeah, absolutely. But legally, I would assume that all of this, especially the comparison of the two that are right there in front of the American people right now, that it damages people's trust in our legal system in our country.
Yeah, I mean, look, you have a Secret Service, for the most part, honorable, great gals and guys who for some odd reason, can't figure out who brought in the dime bag of Coke into the White House. But you know damn well that if it was ricin or anthrax, they would have gotten to the bottom of it immediately. At least you hope so. And so you just get the general sense that, okay, somebody put their thumb on the scale and told them to make it go away. And Hunter, you know, obviously has his problems. It really does. I mean, when you have these whistleblowers, these career IRS guys coming out saying, look, I was raised to do the right thing. I was raised to know the difference between right and wrong. And what I saw was wrong. And what Garland said under oath, he lied. It just really gives people sick feeling in their stomach that, okay, you can't trust Congress, you can't trust the media, you can't trust this, you can't trust us. Which part of the government can you trust? And we both know there's amazing law enforcement people at the local and state and federal level. But at this leadership level, where they're abusing their authority, that's just wrong, and that has to stop.
Yeah. Cully Stimson with us right now. I have a comment from a listener here on our YouTube channel. It says, I can't help but think of the chilling effect this has on anyone considering public service. I mean, it really does seem like the R or the D makes a huge amount of difference about what you can and can't get away with in politics and in our country.
Yeah, I mean, here we have, you know, a country of, 320, 330 million people, and some people are throwing up their hands going, you know, can't we get some normal, like, just statesman to run for president, not have any drama? Because people, I think, were sick of it. It's actually one of the reasons why Trump got elected in the first place, because he was willing to say, look, both sides are pox on America. And so I think we're in for a real whiz-banger here between now and however many more days we have to the election. Let's see who shows up for the debates next month. But these things have a way of sorting themselves out. On the legal matter, it's either going to result in a conviction or not, or acquittals. I think acquittals would really boost Trump's poll numbers. And oddly enough, in this rare instance, a conviction, especially on the Stormy Daniels one, would increase his poll numbers because it would be a nothing burger in terms of a sentence. The classified documents case is different, as we've written about. If he's guilty of that, or if he's found guilty of any of those, that could have some serious ramifications, including prison sentence, which I don't see ever happening to any former or future president.
It's November 2020 or November 2024, which I said is 476 days. I have a countdown on my phone because I want it to be over, and I don't know that makes it go faster. It's kind of the watched pot situation. Are any of those cases that you've listed out there going to come to their conclusions before the election with certainty, or not necessarily?
Well, if I knew that, I would have played the lottery the other night and won. Well, Trump has obviously had his attorneys move the court to indefinitely delay the trial until after the election. The court's not going to do that. And no court is going to do that. The court's going to grant reasonable continuances to prepare for trial, but continuances aren't based on the political calendar. They're based on evidence and whatnot and witness availability. So, you know, in the normal course of things, these trials would be over before then. These aren't normal, so we'll see.
So it's possible that none of them are concluded, though. Is that correct?
Right. Yeah, it's possible. I think the state court one should be concluded. It's a relatively simple case. The classified documents one, very complicated because you have documents that were allegedly classified, and even if they had been declassified, the contents of it you don't want spilled into the public. So there's a procedure you have to go through. For law nerds, it's Federal Rule of Evidence 505, the Classified Information Procedures Act, and that's going to delay things because the judge is going to take time to sort through that.
Cully, thank you for the time today. We're grateful to have some of this ironed out for us, and there'll be many more opportunities for these conversations in the days and months to come, I'm sure. Thanks much, Annie. Appreciate it. You're welcome. Bye-bye. Cully Stimson's a senior legal fellow at the Heritage Foundation, former U.S. Navy JAG officer as well. That's pretty cool. You can find him on Twitter at Cully Stimson. Grateful he had some last-minute time to squeeze us in his schedule this afternoon to give us the legal expertise that I certainly do not have myself. Just a lot of dumb questions that often amount to great answers by our expert guests. When we come back, our next expert guest on the Powerball Wiggins America Are you buying a ticket? I need to know. On the YouTube live chat poll today, that's the question. Are you buying a Powerball ticket? I requested that my husband go get ours, so I'm a yes, unless he forgot to do that or will forget to do that. Want to know what you think? Let us know your thoughts on the Powerball as well in the comments. Wiggins America on the Powerball and what to do and what not to do if you, an Annie Frey Show listener, cash in winning the Powerball in the drawing tomorrow. Don't go away. Back in a minute.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Instagram at The Annie Frey Show.
FullyDentalGroup.com. Going to visit them this week, and I put myself and my dental health in the care of the dentists at Fully Dental Group. I encourage you, if you're looking for a dentist you can trust, a second opinion, or just, got to get something checked out that has been bugging you for a while, you can reach out to them. They're accepting new patients, 618-288-9670, 618-288-9670. I appreciate the comfortability that Fully Dental Group provides with their dental care. I think it's kind of a generational thing. More people are feeling comfortable just by natural experience. Go to the dentist. There's not as many people who have those horrific stories that I've heard about visiting dentists that maybe you experienced when you were a young child. But they go above and beyond at Fully Dental Group to make sure that you are comfortable, to make sure that your dental visit gives you a whole health approach, because there's a lot that they can tell about your health from your mouth. I've heard it myself. I've heard it from, people who I'm related to who have gone to Fully Dental Group. They provide the top-notch care that you need and in a great atmosphere in a brand new facility at 270 and 159 right there in Maryville. You can find them online at FullyDentalGroup.com.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is hiring licensed journeymen. Don't have a journeyman license? Air Comfort Service will help you get it. Get guaranteed hours year-round and more. Apply online at aircomfortservice.com.
If you're looking at new windows for your house, choose wisely. Mark Cox here for my friends at Window World. You want to go with a company you can trust. Ranked #1 in the number of windows sold in the country. That's according to Qualified Remodeler magazine. In just over 20 years in business, they've improved the look and obviously the thermal efficiency of over 70,000 customers in St. Louis. They're going to give you a lifetime warranty that covers all the parts and the glass breakage and the labor. It's a good product. Call them at 314-993-1800 for your free estimate. That's 314-993-1800. Window World won the Good Housekeeping Seal of Approval. That's not easy. They rely on the expertise of their in-house engineers and their analysts and their product experts to give that seal of approval. That should matter to you as well. Call for your free estimate right now. Simply the best for less at Window World. 314-993-1800. WindowWorld.com.
I was having a lot of sinus infections. My sinuses were clogged, pressure, headaches.
Linda suffered for years with chronic sinus infections.
You don't feel like doing anything. When you feel like your head is completely clogged, all you want to do is just lay down and sleep. And the pressure, it's just not fun, always walking around with a headache.
Now, her issues are gone. How? A minimally invasive procedure done in the office of St. Louis Sinus Centers called balloon sinuplasty.
I really did not know what it was like to feel like you're really breathing and not being so clogged up. I would do it again in a heartbeat, and I would definitely recommend it for someone else.
Do you suffer with chronic sinus infections, facial pain, pressure, congestion? Find out if balloon sinuplasty is the solution for you. Set an appointment today with St. Louis Sinus Centers. Call 314-332-2885. 314-332-2885. That's 314-332-2885.
Mark Cox here. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how to link to the market without the risk. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go online to retirementkey.com. You remember Satchmo's Bar and Grill. Their owner, Ben Brown, helped lead the fight against Sam Page's lockdown. Mark Cox here. You're going to love this restaurant. Chef prepared daily lunch and dinner dinner specials, happy hour 3 to 6, 7 days a week, weekly specials, Wagyu meatloaf on Monday night, steak night on Wednesdays for just $10.95, and burger night on Thursdays. Check them out on Facebook or online at satchmosgrill.com at Olive and 141.
All the advice you'd ever need on what to do if you win the Powerball is next on Wiggins America. Then Jim Carafano at 107. Representative Jason Smith, Missouri's own, from Missouri's 7th District, is spearheading all of this Hunter Biden investigation stuff. He's going to be on the show at 1:25. Stick around for all of that coming up just in a couple minutes here. Right now, it's 12:44. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Conservative solutions, objective conclusions. For news and opinion, this is St. Louis's home for conservative talk. 97.1 FM Talk.
Everybody get up.
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Powerball, huh?
Powerball, eh? Yeah, I want to make sure that if you win it, you know that you can come to us, maybe even me directly, for advice.
For a small fee.
Jared did confirm that we have purchased our ticket.
One?
I wouldn't tell you how many we bought, but definitely more than one.
Okay. Because I haven't bought one yet.
Are you going to? It's a YouTube live chat poll today.
Yeah.
On the Annie Frey YouTube channel. Go vote and tell us what you're going to do if you win and whether you're going to buy a ticket, I guess.
I'm really on the border because right now it looks like it's teetering on the line of $1 billion, and if it's under $1 billion, it's not worth my time. If it's over $1 billion, then yeah, I'll buy
I think
a ticket.
you have a strange value of your time.
My time is very valuable. And if it's over $1 billion, yeah, I'm like, I might as well just throw a dart at the board and see what happens, but we'll see. These are great pieces of advice on what to do if you win, though, because there is right now a 1 in 292 million chance for you to be the lucky winner to score.
Which is one more than if you don't play.
That's right. 1 in 292.2 million.
Oh. Do you, what's the first thing you do if you win? Forget that stupid list.
Forget the list?
Forget the smart list. Let's play in fun territory here, and then we'll learn.
Here's what I hate, is that 5 years ago, I would have probably said, I'll probably buy something cool or I'll make a movie or something like that. Now, I'm like, you know what I'd do is I'd probably invest that money. I'd just reinvest it. Like I'm getting old because I'm realizing I'm not doing fun things.
If you win $1 billion, the first thing you're doing is not going to invest that money.
Well, I'm gonna set up an account, and then I'm gonna think about how
You're gonna hire somebody else who's gonna tell you because they're way smarter than you. But that's not the first thing. That's what's on the list.
Well, no, that is on the list, but that is what I would do, and then I just sit there and just kind of think about my life.
That's
I think
so crazy, Brad. The first thing you're doing.
Probably passing out.
Yeah, getting some medical attention.
Like, what? I saw my brother get a fake lottery ticket, and he won, on this fake lottery ticket, $30,000, and he was shaking. I can't imagine.
Who did that to him?
His
That's
ex-wife.
Oh
no!
Well, you should have made something else up.
Yeah.
You should have said you did it.
I would never, ever, ever do that to
So
somebody.
you pass out and then what?
Wake up.
Aren't you gonna go do? I mean, it might be an ice cream cone that you go to celebrate, but you're probably gonna do something to acknowledge.
Oh, for sure.
Holy sugar! I just won money that is generationally life changing. You're not knocking down the door of your accountant first because you don't have an accountant.
All right, I changed mine then. I'm going to go get a broadsword and a trident, and I'm going to sit in my front yard and say, come and get it.
I might be making a call to a realtor about finding a different house. It might be the very first thing that I do.
That's the number one thing?
Mm-hmm.
Anna?
Oh, man. Probably just go to the airport, pick up some tickets, and go.
Yes, that's high on my list. I'm probably going to Disney World, but
yeah.
I mean, literally, it's like you got to wait, obviously, until you get the money. If you're going to do something that big. But there's something you're going to go do.
What are you doing? You're just going to go to Disney World? Is that your number one thing? Or are you going to I want to save up my DVC points?
Ryan.
DVC points are irrelevant if you win.
Well, no, they're not. You can get more of them. I actually think it's a good financial investment for my lifestyle, but I don't like that we're talking about the fact that I do that. So I would definitely I would get on a plane to go somewhere for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And it would probably be Florida. Maybe Hawaii. I'm going somewhere, though.
Mm-hmm.
Get me out of town.
What's the smart thing to do?
Smart thing to do is thus. You have to do, well, it says the first things you shouldn't do. Number one is...
Sometimes it's better to know what you shouldn't do.
Yeah.
Even more than, staying still is better than all of these things.
Yeah. And that's what it says is number one, don't sign the ticket. Because once people know who claimed it, because once you sign it and you turn it in, then everybody knows who you are.
Not necessarily. It depends on the state you live in.
It does, but both Illinois and Missouri, you can't do it anonymously, apparently. So we're out. Everybody's going to be rushing after you. This article says put your ticket in a safe place, and depending on which state you're in, try to claim it anonymously, but you can't in our state, so just hold on to it. Number two, don't tell anybody.
Turn in your winning ticket?
Yeah, there's things that it's saying you want to do before you go public, because that would be you going public. Number
you have
two,
to.
yeah, in our states you do. Number two is don't tell anybody. Of course, this is very similar to number one, but this leads back in the first point because you could become the victim of robbery or people trying to extort you, and it says they will.
Oh, for sure.
For sure, because if your name is publicly available, they're going to do it.
If anyone knows someone who knows you, you're going to be getting hounded for such an enormous amount of charity, which you probably would be eager to participate in charity, but not like that, which is why I don't know where it comes in on this list if it does, but putting somebody in charge of that money outside of just you, I would think very quickly is very important.
Yeah, the things that it says you should do are similar at first. It says you'll want to first get completely private, delete your social media or make it completely private, it says.
Wow.
Legally change your address to a P.O. box.
Yep.
So that nobody can find your house and camp out outside of it.
Wow.
And get a new phone number and email address because those can be easy to find online too.
It's all there.
So that's why you want to wait, Hannah, is because you want to do all this stuff before you go public.
All right, writing that down for when I win.
Then here's some security, because the first thing you think of is, well, if I have this ticket, I'm just going to place it somewhere and I'm going to put a soda next to it and it's going to get water all over, whatever, It says, no, make digital copies or encrypted storage, print copies of your ticket, or take pictures of them and things that can be time-stamped so that even if something happens to it, you can prove that you have it or had it.
That counts?
Well, I don't know that it counts.
No, but it just helps you memorize.
Legally, if someone were to steal it or
that you
somehow
had it first.
that you can show that you had it first.
Everywhere with it.
Do you guys have like a safe deposit box? Any of you guys have safety deposit box? Or safe
Yeah,
deposit box?
I keep it in my bedroom closet, and the code is 4329. Is that what you're wondering?
No, I mean, like, my wife and I keep very valuable documents, very important documents at our bank in the safe, in the safety deposit box.
Good. I started sweating when you were talking. I'm like, don't give some secret stuff out.
Yeah, no, well, they can't get into the bank. Well, they can, but if they do, hats off to you, whatever. I mean, at that point,
if you rob a bank and you rob Brad, he's just tipping his hat to you.
What could I do?
It does say that you're going to want to hire 6 different professionals.
Lawyer.
The first is a lawyer.
Accountant.
Accountant is on the list.
Is a lawyer different than a tax attorney? You're
all over it because it says the tax attorney is separate.
Tax attorney is separate.
Yeah, and you got accountant. That's 3 of them.
Is there another lawyer on there?
There is.
An estate lawyer?
Yes.
Yep.
That's number 4. You're doing great.
Yeah, okay, so a party planner.
Michael Scott.
Travel
Hold
agent.
on a second. So we have an estate lawyer,
Yep.
a tax attorney, lawyer.
Yep.
No offense to those 2 lawyers, of which my brother is one of them. Actually, 2 of them. And then an accountant, security.
4, 5. You got 5 of them. That's personal security.
Keep going.
The last one, you've actually already said it before we were asking this question. You want to try it or not?
Give me a little hint.
Somebody to make sure that you are using your wealth properly.
Oh, like a supervisor.
Yeah,
A
financial planner, financial advisor. You got it.
Oh,
You had
separate
already
than an
said.
accountant. Okay.
Yeah, separate than an accountant. Right.
Yeah, thank you.
Good job,
Annie. I've thought about it.
Clearly.
I've thought about making lots of money before.
I'm rooting for you to win the Powerball now.
Well,
before I was
I'm
like,
in the
nah.
game. I'm in the game.
I thought, yeah, she'd spend it too stupidly.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, no, she's going to do fine.
No, there would be things that I would spend money on that would be stupid, but that's the benefit you have from having a stupid amount of money.
Oh,
Because
by the-
I try very hard not to do that right now.
Yeah.
I try to be very good with my money and spread it out as far as I can go with a family of 6. I think like the first thing that you do. It's like if you go to if you go to celebrate with ice cream, you get like the big ice cream, and you only eat what you want and you throw the rest away. You're like,
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't even care. What were you gonna say?
Well, the stat in here that you were kind of hitting on by being smart is that the average American, compared to the average American, lottery winners are way more likely to declare bankruptcy within 3 to 5 years of them winning.
Yeah.
Isn't that sad?
Super sad.
And people just don't know what to do with it. They go crazy.
If the second I have that money, every debt that I have is gone.
Of course.
Like that is the first
The
thing
actual first thing.
that I would do. And then there are people in my life, close to me in my life, where that would be the thing. Instead of handing people, here's a bajillion dollars, paying off people's debts that are, and I mean, I'm talking like super close family or super close friends. It's not going to be like a make it rain situation because you got to cut it off somewhere. You could meet people's needs. You could help with a lot of community charitable things, but you can't just say yes to everyone, which is why you have to have the other people involved who are part of a decision-making team where you have the supreme thought on it. But just signing every debt away like the U.S. government, that's where I'm at.
If you missed any of these and you need advice once you win, contact me directly.
At Radio Wiggins?
At Radio Wiggins. I'll give you my
Tweet
phone
at
number.
Radio Wiggins, so I won the Powerball. We'll be back with Jim Carafano and Congressman Jason Smith in the 1 o'clock hour.
Mark Cox here. Different real estate agents will sell your home for different amounts of money. Don't be fooled into thinking all realtors are created equal because they're not. Different realtors will get you different results. So the agent you choose to sell your home matters. The experience your agent has, the marketing, the database of buyers, the systems, and the capabilities of your realtor, they all matter. Why? Because how much you sell your home for matters to you. That's why I recommend you call Gloria Liu with your home sold guaranteed realty. According to MLS statistics, Gloria sells her listings for more money than the average agent, and she does it with less hassle. With 20-plus years of experience, our local real estate expert, Gloria Liu, knows how to get you the most money for your home, guaranteed. Gloria offers her sellers multiple selling options, so call her at 314-325-6888. That's 314-325-6888, or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
Conditions apply. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
Stewart's American Mortgage. You can Google the bagel loan to find out more info than what I'm going to tell you here in 60 seconds. But you can reach Stewie at 314-324-4440 and ask him how a bagel loan can help you get that house of your dreams. First of all, he can close in 10 days. What a rapid turnaround, making you a very competitive buyer for someone who is looking for a fast sale on that house. But also, let's talk about the offer you want to make. When you don't have to pay closing costs, which is the case when you use the bagel loan, you don't have to pay those thousands of dollars in closing costs. You can add them to your offer. You can save it for repairs on the house that you want to purchase, or just tuck it away in the savings account and wait for another opportunity to spend that money. You get to save it when you use the bagel loan with Stewie at Stewart's American Mortgage. He has a 1% down conventional plus bagel loan opportunity. You need to call him or text him to find out more. 314-324-4440. Call or text Stewie at 314-324-4440. Google the bagel loan, NMLS number 226715.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-652-5241 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-652-5241. That's 800-652-5241. What do you have to lose? Call 800-652-5241. Again, 800-652-5241.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio. 97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Reassurance for Israel. Lisa Brady, Fox News. President Biden holding an Oval Office meeting with Israel's president.
America's commitment to Israel is firm, and it is ironclad.
It's just days after a Democratic congresswoman described Israel as a racist state. Progressive Caucus Chair Pramila Jayapal later saying she meant anti-Palestinian policies. President Herzog says Israel is going through a heated debate as a society, but that its democracy is strong and resilient. The President Biden responding to a shouted question about a U.S. soldier detained in North Korea, answering yes, that he is worried about the soldier. Defense officials say Army Private Travis King was facing disciplinary action from the U.S. military and was supposed to head back to the U.S. from South Korea. When he left the airport, joined a tour group in civilian clothes and willfully crossed into North Korea, now believed to be in North Korean custody. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin telling reporters,
in terms of my concerns, I'm absolutely foremost concerned about the welfare of our troops.
Austin says they are investigating and working to notify the soldier's family. King had reportedly just been released from a South Korean prison where he'd been held on assault charges and had been escorted to the airport to return to Fort Bliss in Texas. Former President Trump says he's been notified he is a target of special counsel Jack Smith's probe into efforts to overturn the 2020 election, and that he's been given 4 days to report to the grand jury. Smith oversees several probes, including the recent Trump indictment and a classified documents investigation.
So the question, and we don't know the answer right now, does the 4 days mean the grand jury meeting Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Jack Smith could make a decision on Friday? Or sometimes the grand jury does not meet on Monday, which would push things into next week.
Fox's David Spund. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy calls it another example of a weaponized federal government. America is listening to Fox News.
Hi, I'm Martha Stewart. Every year, more than 4 million pets enter shelters here in the United States. My friends at American Humane have been helping animals since 1877. The goal is to ensure that pets have a safe shelter, especially during natural disasters. Adopting a shelter pet allows shelters to help more animals awaiting care. Please consider adopting today and take some time to learn more about American Humane's other work at americanhumane.org.
Do you have heart failure and often hear,
"Those stomach issues ruined your birthday"?
"You're too tired to play catch, Grandpa."
Sweetie, you haven't touched your tools since the carpal tunnel syndrome diagnosis.
If these seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, talk to your cardiologist. Ask about transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy, or ATTR-CM, a rare and underdiagnosed disease that gets worse over time. Learn more at connecttoyourheart.com. That's connecttoyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Changeable clouds out there throughout the afternoon, and there will be scattered thunderstorms once again. 89 for the high. Tonight, scattered thunderstorms this evening and overnight, some possibly strong to severe. 75 for the overnight low. Wednesday and Thursday, the extreme heat is going to stay away, but we're still talking 92. Wednesday and Thursday, partly sunny. Each day brings spot storms. This is 97.1 FM Talk Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Keep it here for the real news. This is St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
Mark Cox, Brian Kilmeade, Annie Frey, Mark Reardon, and Dana Lash on 97.1 FM Talk.
Diamonds Direct's Midsummer Savings Event is happening right now with an extra 20% savings, an expanded selection, and in-store designer appearances. Take an extraordinary 20% off Diamonds Direct's already unbeatable prices on rings, earrings, bracelets, bands, colored gemstone jewelry, and thousands of engagement ring mountings. Meet the designers who've flown in with all new collections for the summer. The best savings, the best selection, the best value. Don't miss this once-a-year jewelry shopping event. Get details, showroom hours, directions, and more at diamondsdirect.com.
Did you know the IRS is a super creditor? Hi, I'm Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. The IRS is the only creditor that can create a bill for you without your permission, then drop the hammer and aggressively collect it by wiping out your bank account, seizing your assets, and levying your wages. No other creditor can do that, and this can all happen without a court approval. If you owe back taxes, you need to be prepared to face the super creditor. Don't just sit back and take it. Fight back. At the Lance Drury Law Firm, we know how to use the laws to your advantage and go toe-to-toe with the IRS. Our office is located right here in St. Louis. Contact the Lance Drury Law Firm today for a free consultation with me, or visit us at lancedrurylaw.com or call 314-260-6120. That's 314-260-6120 to get started.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Focus Marine Foundation is helping heroes transition from military to civilian life. 97.1 FM Talk is helping Focus Marine Foundation fulfill that mission through our Conservatives Care initiative. Learn more at 971talk.com/care.
Tune into the Del Walmsley Radio Show. Del, self-made millionaire and founder of Lifestyles Unlimited, will show you how to live the life of your dreams and pay for it with passive income.
Listen to the Del Walmsley Radio Show this Saturday afternoon from 1 to 2 p.m. on 97.1 FM Talk.
This hour of the Annie Frey Show is brought to you by Ruler Foods. Low prices, no coupons. Ruler Foods.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what you're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey
But there's
Show.
another movie dominating the box office. It's called The Sound of Freedom, and it beat Indiana Jones on opening day. The film's based off the true story of Tim Ballard, a former Homeland Security special agent who saved kids from an international sex trafficking ring.
It is the fastest growing international crime network that the world has ever seen.
For Homeland Security, you know we can't go off rescuing Honduran kids in Colombia.
This job tears you to pieces. And this is my one chance to put those pieces back together.
So you quit your job and you go and rescue those kids.
This movie zeroes in on the multi-billion-dollar human trafficking industry and honors a hero, someone who saved children from sex slavery.
So we've talked a lot on this show about child trafficking, of course, the porous and if not open border problem that this administration refuses to pay attention to, with our friend Jim Carafano quite a bit. And I cannot wait to hear what he thought about Sound of Freedom when he saw it, Vice President for Foreign and Security Policy at Heritage Foundation. Jim, thanks for being here. I have a report that you have seen Sound of Freedom.
Right. So, you know, I'm like a total movie geek, right?
Okay.
So nobody is geeker about movies than I am. So I will say on my movie geeky level, it is an excellent film. It is really, really well constructed. It's a beautifully done film. And also as somebody that really gets excited about seeing how, you know, people, based on a true story, how people turn that into fiction. So, of course, there are things which are compressed and maybe glamorized a bit and even invented. But in terms of capturing the spirit of the true story, what's going on, it's really good. So there's the reason why people are flooding to the box office, in large part because obviously they're emotionally charged by this issue, but in large part it's because it's a very, very good film. And honestly, it's a much, when you look at Mission Impossible and Indiana Jones and all these things, these films are actually not good films. This is a very, very well done film, and it was actually shelved. It's been on the shelf for 5 years. It took them 5 years to get a distributor for this film. It's a real issue. The numbers there is more, and this is the thing to me, which is really frustrating and really shows the hypocrisy of, we want reparations and all this other stuff and Black Lives Matter and everything else. There is more human trafficking. There is more human slavery in the world today that's operational and active, more human misery because of people being enslaved and abused, such as children. And there's not even a scintilla of as much attention and focus on that as there is on Black Lives Matter and reparations and all this glamour stuff. So they're fixated on, righting wrongs from 200 years ago. But the fact that the wrongs going on in the world today are actually on a larger scale and actually more horrific, that apparently isn't relevant to people.
Jim Carafano with us right now. I have seen reports. I haven't seen the movie yet. I think I'm going to go see it this week. I've been putting it off. I don't know if my mama heart can handle it, but I think I'm going to go because people keep saying it's not graphic or whatever.
No.
But CNN was playing a interview between a moderator and a guest, and all they did was talk about how Sound of Freedom is a QAnon conspiracy fantasy. And what I hear you saying is it is a story that is based off of something that is true, but to come away from Sound of Freedom trying to make a political point and bring, the idea of QAnon back into the conversation seems like maybe they missed the point of the movie.
Well, this really gets to the utter hypocrisy, right? So, for example, basically what these people are saying, well, we don't like the politics of people associated with this film. Fine. When was the last time you saw them go on air and said, well, how can you go watch Mission Impossible because Tom Cruise and Scientology, and that's a big cult? Or how could you go watch a Harvey Weinstein film, right? Because, and the answer is they never say that. So when it comes to the left, they completely disassociate any behavior, any character, any trait, anything, including Woody Allen. It doesn't matter because it's art. We have to focus on the art. But when it comes to the right is, no. If we don't like their politics, that corrupts the film and makes it unwatchable. That's their argument.
Yeah. And I guess it works for some, but usually those people have already made up their minds anyway. I want to ask you about the what's taking place between Ukraine and Russia and, the constant part of this administration that looks like they want to continue to subsidize Ukraine's fight against Russia. You've said many times that it's important for us to be wearing Russia down with our dollars and not our men and women. Is the Biden administration doing the right thing, at least through action, set aside their words?
Well, I have a lot of problems with their action. One is the way we're doing it. I mean, American bipartisan foreign policy should be bipartisan. We should sit down. We should have a debate about it. We should openly decide what we're going to do and then do it. What the Biden administration has done is, even if doing the war is the right thing, is they've completely hijacked this for whatever. So literally every funding package for Ukraine includes way more money for all other kinds of wacky stuff and has nothing to do with Ukraine. And if you want to argue about how we should do this or what we should do we should do more, should do less, you're labeled as dishonorable. And the truth is, the Biden guys love the right fighting over Ukraine, right? They're just thrilled about that because it's a complete distraction from focusing on what we should be focusing on, which is how this administration has behaved in its behavior. Here's what I will say. The practicalities of this. One of the criticisms that we hear is, oh my God, we're heading to World War III. Well, this is, I think, demonstrably proven not true. We've been in this war for 500 days. If the Russians were going to escalate, right, we would have seen some signs of that. And in fact, we're actually seeing the opposite. So, the Wagner guys go to Belarus. we're actually seeing less of a threat that Belarus might actually do anything on the border. We haven't seen the Russians, their nuclear threatening is hasn't really played out. So we see the Russians doing lots of different things because they're desperate to try to find a way to break the resolve of the West. But the notion that somehow this is escalating into a larger war, all the evidence actually suggests the opposite of that. Sweden, Finland join NATO. What happens? Nothing happens. The Russians make all kinds of threats. What happens? Nothing happens. They say if you give these munitions, that's the last straw, and we give them munitions, and what happens? Nothing happens. That's not true either. So.
Jim Carafano with us right now. He's the Vice President for Foreign and Security Policy at the Heritage Foundation. I want to shift gears and ask you about the ramifications of Congresswoman Jayapal's comments. I'm just going to read to you what she said. I'm sure you've heard this. This is from Congresswoman Jayapal. She said, I want you to know that we've been fighting to make it clear that Israel is a racist state, that the Palestinian people deserve self-determination and autonomy, that the dream of a two-state solution is slipping away from us. When a congresswoman is saying that Israel is a racist state, direct quote from the congresswoman, how does that affect our relationship with one of our strongest allies?
Well, I think, Israel is our strongest allies, and one of the problems that we've had is this administration, because they don't like the politics of a conservative government, and because they're dealing with this virulent anti-Semitism in their own political party, that they've been actually kind of distancing and pushing themselves away from Israel. The reality is this is a cancer in a political party in the United States. It is racist. It is anti-Semitic. It is un-American, and it is telling literally untruths. The problems of the Palestinians are not because of the Israelis. The problems of the Palestinians is they're overseen by a corrupt organization. You have Iran basically funding Palestinians to perpetuate a war against Israel. This has nothing to do with determination or taking care of the average Palestinian or anything for the Palestinian people. This is the Palestinian people being used in a proxy war against Israel, and somehow label this as, we're standing up for the rights of these. You're actually doing the opposite. There are many Palestinian people that would say, I work with Israelis. I trade with Israelis. I would never say that. I would never say it in public because somebody would come to my house and say, if you do that again, we'll take you out back and kill you. The Palestinians are one of the most oppressed peoples in the world, but it's not because of the Israelis. It's because of their own leadership that is corrupt and evil and driven by foreign powers. And this woman essentially say that this is, racism. It literally is the most racist comment. Her comment standing up on that stage to me was, why don't you just put on a white sheet and stand up in the middle of Congress and start, spouting like you're a card-carrying member of the Ku Klux Klan? Because it is, as far as I'm concerned, it's as abysmal and inappropriate comment as I could possibly imagine from a publicly elected official.
Do you feel as though she's saying, do you feel like she understands the weight of her words when she says that? Is it malice or is it ignorance?
There is a very powerful part of that party which is fully committed and in bed with this cancer. And to speak out against them is to risk their wrath. And they're not willing to do that. So they either are a true believer or they're a fellow traveler because they're afraid to do anything other than spout those talking points.
I want to shift gears with you before we let you go. We're speaking with Jim Carafano right now. The news came out today, I believe it was, that a plainclothes American soldier, is from Fox News, has been detained in North Korea after crossing the military demarcation line separating the country from South Korea. The more information that I keep hearing, the details about this individual, he seems like he's making a series of really bad decisions, but now North Korea has detained one of our soldiers. What happens next?
Probably we forget about him. There have been, I think, 6 military people have defected to North Korea since the end of the Korean War. The last one was actually in 1982.
Wow.
So they usually just kind of disappear. There is no real propaganda value for the North Koreans. I don't know anything about this individual, but the likelihood that he's going to, give them some kind of a massive intelligence coup probably not accurate from what we know. This administration is heading into election, and they want foreign policy to just go away. So they want to buy off the Iranians. They want to, do anything. Just ask the Chinese to be quiet for 2 years. They're probably just going to hope he goes away and forgets about it. So I don't think it's really going to make much of long term. I feel bad for his family and other people, and if he has depicted with courageous men, a really big mistake. But we don't know. I mean, we don't know a lot of the facts. He was enticed across the border or whatever. Who knows? But if it's very clear that he defected and he's not a prisoner, it probably doesn't make a real foreign policy crisis for this administration. And so I'm sure the response would be, don't care. Not don't care, but they're not going to do anything.
Jim Carafano, we love talking with you. Thank you for your comments on Sound of Freedom. A lot of people have seen it and are saying they want to go see it. It's great to hear your take.
Yeah, and I was actually not going to go see the film. It's not kind of my kind of film, right? But I just went because of all the news, and man, I am really glad I did.
That's a great review.
Really, really glad.
Thank you, Jim. We look forward to talking to you each week. We'll have you back next week.
Thanks.
Bye-bye. Vice President for Foreign and Security Policy at the Heritage Foundation. It's what I keep hearing from folks. It's pretty consistent out there. Curious if you've seen Sound of Freedom. Maybe that'll be a poll question later on in the week. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, Congressman Jason Smith. He is Missouri's 7th District Representative. He's also the chairman of the House Ways and Means Committee, and he is on the front lines of this Hunter Biden situation, the whistleblowers, the testimony that's going to come this week. Jason Smith will be on the Annie Frey Show when we return.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Instagram at The Annie Frey Show.
On a pillow of blue bonnets, in a blanket made of stars. Oh, it sounds good to me. I said, cowboy, take me away.
Centric Security and Automation. Easy to call. Get a hold of Centric Security and Automation at 314-442-6860. 314-442-6860. They provide all of the service that you need, along with the equipment, the installation of the security system that is going to have your building safe and protected, and everything that's in that building safe and protected. Right now, if you currently carry a badge to access your building, buildings have begun to replace those plastic smart card badges with mobile credentials. That gives you the capability to have your mobile phone with you and to gain access that way. This helps you harness the versatility that smartphones can offer you, your business, your guests, all of it, to continue to maintain an easily secured, safe place of business. They're there to provide you, like I said, with all of the service that you're going to need as well, to make sure you have the support you are going to expect on how to operate the system, the education, and they make it super simple for you. Centric Security and Automation, 314-442-6860, online, centricstl.com.
At Grainger, we're for the ones who pay attention to every little detail, the ones who fuss, tinker, and sweat the small stuff. Because you know the tiniest thing can make the biggest difference when it comes to keeping business moving. We get it. We're the same way, offering access to product experts to help you quickly and easily find what you need. So whatever your industry, you know you're always getting professional-grade products. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Do you have heart failure and often hear,
"Those stomach issues ruined your birthday"?
"You're too tired to play catch, Grandpa."
Sweetie, you haven't touched your tools since the carpal tunnel syndrome diagnosis.
If these seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, talk to your cardiologist. Ask about transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy, or ATTR-CM, a rare and underdiagnosed disease that gets worse over time. Learn more at connecttoyourheart.com. That's connecttoyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Hey, you know what I don't get? Why is that company always telling you to just do what? What is it? To just look like everybody else? Or maybe just pay way too much for your shoes? Well, at Skechers, we know what we want you to do. Just slip in. That's right, just slip in to new hands-free Skechers slip-ins. Why? Because slip-ins are the easiest, most comfortable shoes ever. You don't have to bend down to put them on. You don't even have to touch them. Find slip-ins for the whole family at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
Never
The roar of our engines, the pump of our heartbeats, the pedal to our metal, the sparks that ignite us, the pistons that push us, the passions that drive us. From the feelings that move us to the places that pull us on the roads that unite us. With nearly 6,000 stores and over 17,000 auto care centers, Napa has America's largest network of parts and care, here to keep you firing on all cylinders.
If you're considering an annuity as part of your retirement plan, we need to talk. Hi, I'm Bob Stockdale, Senior Vice President Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money, Saturday mornings at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. Annuities can be a useful tool for some retirement investors, but not all annuities are created equal. Every week, we meet clients who own complex annuities that don't suit their needs and, in some cases, actively undermine their retirement plan. Before you purchase an annuity, get a second opinion from the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel. Requesting a consultation is free of charge. To request a free consultation, contact us at clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com, or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas & Company Incorporated, member NYSE and SIPC.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is celebrating 54 years of residential and commercial service, maintenance, and installation of heating and cooling systems. Get in your comfort zone. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
Gotta keep them separated.
Based upon that meeting and based upon what Garland has told us, someone is lying. And in doing so, I raised the question is, we have to know who in this process is lying. And if it is found that Attorney General Garland is lying, that rises to the level of an impeachment inquiry. And that would be a different investigation. And that would be based upon the facts of what we know.
Speaker McCarthy talking about Merrick Garland and what his roles might have been in the pursuing investigations in Hunter Biden, Joe Biden eventually, of course. What is the role there? There are so many investigations taking place, and ironically not taking place, at the same time right now that if you're an average voter who doesn't want to have people who are corrupt in charge of the government or in the bureaucracy of the government, you need like a chart or a map to help explain what is going on here. Well, we're going to talk to Congressman Jason Smith, who is representing Missouri's 7th District and can bring us up to the forefront of what's taking place with the IRS whistleblower and Hunter Biden. Congressman, thank you for the time today. We're very grateful for it.
It's great to be with you, Annie. You said it very well, saying that the average voter needs a chart. Well, every member of Congress needs a chart with how many directions the tentacles of this investigation is going because of the Biden family.
So tell me, I know that you're working really hard right now for the plea deal, that nice little package that Hunter Biden has received. You're working right now to make some of these documents be included in the conversation around that plea deal. What do you think that Americans and Missourians right now should know about those efforts?
You know, I think it's important to start from the very beginning of how we got where we're at. My first week as chairman of the House Ways and Means Committee, I set up a whistleblower hotline so that the Ways and Means Committee has oversight over the IRS. And I wanted any employee of the IRS to contact us with any issues that they think that the oversight committee over them should pay attention to. And in fact, we've got several whistleblowers. The two whistleblowers that's been in the news so much were IRS investigators that came before my committee. We did over 15 hours of depositions. And in those 15 hours of depositions, it was alarming of the information that they gave us, showing that in their almost 5 years of investigating Hunter Biden's tax issues, they they dealt with the Department of Justice and other law enforcement entities where there was numerous activities to delay the prosecution and to delay the investigation. They gave numerous examples of where even prosecutors would divulge information to Hunter Biden's lawyers. For example, they wanted to issue a search warrant in a Northern Virginia storage unit, and the prosecutors notified Hunter Biden's lawyers the day before. And then the denying issue where these whistleblowers are saying that the Delaware prosecutor was denied the ability to bring charges in Washington, D.C. and also in California when the Attorney General of the United States has testified before Congress on a couple occasions saying that that prosecutor has complete authority to bring charges anywhere. People are not telling the truth. It's not adding up. And because of this information we got from the whistleblowers, it's now leading where the Judiciary Committee, the Oversight Committee, and of course the Ways and Means Committee continue to move forward to figure out where these facts lead and hold the right people accountable.
You know, when the Republicans were able to eke out that very slim majority in the House, and it wasn't nearly as large as a lot of us anticipated that it was going to be, even at a slim majority, there's still so much being done by these House committees to put people in a position to answer to this testimony. And, I'm curious with the whistleblower testimony that is supposed to take place this week, what do you think that the American people are going to hear about this obstruction that you've alluded to? And if people aren't following you on Twitter, I've been watching the threads as you've been putting out. It's been very informative. What will Americans hear this week from these whistleblowers that help, fill in some of the gaps in the picture about how we pursue the Bidens compared to how we pursue the Trumps?
Tomorrow, our focus is, of course, of what's happening. The American people deserve all Americans being treated equally and not having a two-tiered legal system. You shouldn't be given preferential treatment because your last name's a Biden. Americans don't like that. And unfortunately, that's what the whistleblowers highlight. The whistleblowers highlighted because Hunter Biden is the president's son, it led to the Department of Justice delaying aspects of the investigation that led towards the tax crimes of 2014 and 2015 statute of limitations expired. And in fact, the IRS whistleblowers will say that in the tax year 2014 alone, Hunter Biden should have been charged with several felony tax crimes, including not paying taxes on more than $400,000 that he received from Burisma. He received over $8.3 million from the tax years of 2014 to 2019 that he did not pay taxes on from countries and entities in China, Ukraine, and Romania. The smell of corruption is all over this, and then he gets the sweetheart plea that are misdemeanor charges. If any average American was involved in these kind of alleged crimes, they would face jail time. But the president's son is facing misdemeanors.
Yeah, it's ironic, too, that we've all heard about the drama behind the pursuit of Donald Trump's tax returns. And then they got the tax returns, and then that story kind of fizzled out. Seems as though anytime, if you were to swap the details of what has been found, what evidence has been procured about the actual activities of the Biden family members, if you were to apply those to Donald Trump, all of the pursuit that this Justice Department and the politicos that supported have thrown at the Trump family, they don't have the substance. But they've got the substance over on the Biden family, and we just don't seem to find a way to talk about it.
It is absolutely amazing how people won't talk about this, and they won't put sunlight on the issues. The last 2 years, the first 2 years of President Biden's term in office, the Democrats controlled the House, they controlled the Senate. They would not allow any oversight whatsoever. And fortunately, over the last 6 months that we were able to take the majority, it may be a razor-thin majority, but you know what? They don't measure gavels on sizes. You either have a gavel or you don't. And we are using every tool that we can to deliver for the American people transparency and making sure that their government's working for all people the same, not just the wealthy and politically connected.
Congressman Jason Smith with us right now talking about the pursuit into Hunter Biden, the investigations that have been potentially hindered. We'll hear from those whistleblowers this week in congressional testimony. Walk me through here a little bit more in detail the dollars that are in question, the income that Hunter Biden has received, and the potential for that number to grow over time if investigations were actually being carried out the way they should be. Does it all tie to Joe Biden, or, Congressman, is this just about getting Hunter Biden and getting him as good as you possibly can?
Well, let me tell you, one of the things that the whistleblowers brought forward and we released in the Ways and Means Committee, you may have seen gather attention. And it's a WhatsApp message that Hunter Biden sent to a Chinese business partner. And in there, he was seeking demands and telling that Chinese business partner that he expects to hear a response, and he's sitting right next to his father right now, waiting for the response.
Did you see the?
Sounds pretty interesting. We released that, and we also asked these IRS investigators because Representative Comer in the Oversight Committee has been looking at a lot of bank records because there's been a lot of LLCs that have been created by the Biden family operation, and they confirmed 19 of the 20 LLCs that we asked about, and the 20th one might also be one, but he couldn't remember for sure.
Wow.
But he did confirm who carries around 19 LLCs, and how in the world is Hunter Biden capable of making $8.3 million from foreign governments during the time his father was vice president, 2014, 2015, up until 2016. And then, of course, the other tax years of 17, 18, and 19 is what we're looking at. You definitely see where there's a lot of strange, interesting connections of where the Biden's money all runs together.
Congressman Smith, before I let you go, when I've heard other legal experts talk about the tax evasion stuff seems as though it might be outside of the statute of limitations. Is it possible that they could still, that Hunter and Joe could still potentially be convicted of a crime here somewhere? Or is the political ramification, which would fall in your wheelhouse, of course, is that what's left in order to get some justice for Americans if these stories, in fact, are true?
The IRS investigators testified that he should also be charged with felony counts of tax evasion in later years where the statute of limitations have not expired. So there's no question that there's opportunities in regards to Hunter Biden. In regards to Joe Biden, a lot more evidence and information has to be collected. But I'll tell you, Joe Biden's administration is trying to block us every avenue. We requested to bring in more than a dozen individuals from the Department of Justice, the FBI, the Secret Service, and also the IRS, and they have been blocking it. However, there is an FBI whistleblower that came forward this week that is confirming some of the same items that these IRS whistleblowers are confirming of how basically they were denied the opportunity to interview Hunter Biden.
Congressman Smith, we're going to continue to follow this. It's going to be a very interesting week, and you've been uncovering a lot of this as we have moved through this story, and we look forward to hopefully being able to have you back here to react to the testimony or whatever we are to find out in Congress this week.
Happy to. It's great to be with you.
Thank you. Thank you as well. Congressman Jason Smith, he is the 7th District Representative in the state of Missouri. He is the chairman of the House Ways and Means Committee. Grateful that he gave us some time today to talk to you about these developing stories. There's a lot coming our way. It's kind of like drinking out of a fire hose. We'll do our best, and we try to get the best on here to talk to you about it. We're going to take a quick break. More Annie Frey Show when we come back. Go vote on the Annie Frey YouTube poll. You buying a Powerball ticket, yes or no? I can confirm ours has been purchased. Now we wait to get rich. Is that what we all do? I think we might just be out $20 or something. I have no idea. Stick around, Morning Fry Show in just a minute.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
The Retirement Advisory Group is having yet another event. I'll be there. Will you? I hope so. You got to reserve your spot. Here are the details, and I'll give you the number to contact here at the end of this so that you can call and reserve your spot. Tuesday, August 8th at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30 p.m. Seats are limited, so you can go visit them online at retirementkey.com or call to reserve your spot, 314-993-9494. August 8th, 6:30 p.m. I usually get there around 6 o'clock, and I try to meet as many of you as I can between 6 and 6:30 and get to know you a little bit. And then you sit down and you listen to what Thomas Helbig has to say, and it's like 45 minutes. It's a free event. He has snacks, which is fantastic, and he doesn't soak up your entire evening. Reserve your spot today, Tuesday, August 8th at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30 p.m. by calling 314-993-9494. That's 314-993-9494. Tell them you want to go to the August 8th event and that you heard about it on the Annie Frey Show. You can also reserve a place at retirementkey.com.
Back to doing what I love and more, thanks to the Good Feet store.
This planet is so incredibly beautiful that I can't get enough of it. I did 950 miles on the Pacific Crest Trail, and Good Feet was with me all the way. Your passion's important, but if your body aches and if your heel feels like you've got a nail stuck in it and won't come out, trust me, it's going to wear you down. The Good Feet store knew what they were talking about and took the time to really dial in what I needed. I hiked 84 miles in the Himalaya and to do it pain-free. You think I'm not grateful for Good Feet?
Get ready for your summer adventures. Come to the Good Feet store today. Call 314-317-9494 or visit one of our 2 locations on Olive west of I-270 in the Plaza with Subway or in Shiloh, Illinois across from Deerbergs.
Thanks to the Good Feet store.
Individual results may vary. Consult your physician for medical conditions. Visit the website goodfeetstlewis.com. You deserve comfort in your life. Come in for your free test walk today.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com or call us toll-free at 888-367-6512.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-652-5241 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-652-5241. That's 800-652-5241. What do you have to lose? Call 800-652-5241. Again, 800-652-5241.
The MLB app. Your team, your players, your home for live streaming baseball.
And what a way to start.
Customize your home feed with your favorite team. Get personalized stats, highlights, stories, breaking news, and follow your team on game day. 3D replays and live streams add a new dimension to the game. Plus, free live streaming programming every day. The MLB app. Make it your home for all things baseball. Download for free from the App Store or Google Play. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Major League Baseball trademarks used with permission.
Are you buying a Powerball ticket? Yes or no? Let us know. That is today's Annie Frey Show YouTube live chat poll. Do you know the winning numbers? Contact me directly at Radio Wiggins on Twitter. The time right now, 1:42. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
You could be watching this right now. Tune into the Annie Frey Show live stream. YouTube, Facebook, Rumble, Twitter. You know what? Just type in Annie Frey Show live stream. The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Times my body, I worry, I throw my fear around. But this morning, there's a calm I can't explain. The rock candy's melted, only diamonds now remain.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Either of you guys Grateful Dead fans?
Not really. They have a couple good songs, though.
Name one.
I Will Get By.
Is that one?
Yeah. Well,
I didn't know that was them.
If that's the name of the song.
I like that song.
Yeah, it's a good song.
What is the other one? Don't they have one called Casey Jones or something like that?
They've got a couple.
They definitely have one that's called Casey Jones, and I only know that because apparently John Mayer tore it up on the stage, and I've seen the Twitter videos.
Tore it up, like played it well?
No, he just destroyed the
He
stage.
destroyed the song? Oh, no.
He was mad that Dead & Company was done, and he said, I'm trashing this joint.
So it just sounded like a bunch of noise and him banging on a drum.
I thought it sounded beautiful.
Oh, okay. This is Casey Jones. Bang, 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 bang.
So pretty.
I have been since Room for Squares, which was his first main album, I think, that Columbia produced. I have been a huge John Mayer fan. I have seen him in concert maybe close to 10 times. And he is the front man or whatever. I hope I'm not trying to disrespect anybody because I know people who are huge Dead & Company fans. He is in the Dead & Company, the Grateful Dead band, whatever that means.
Oh, really?
Yes. And
So-
he has this whole entire body of work that I just can't relate to other than his really talented guitar playing. He is, I hope I'm saying this right. This is how much I don't know about it. Like the Jerry Garcia of the Grateful Dead band.
Oh, so he's the front man
I think so,
for
yes.
this band.
Yes.
Is that who the Deadheads follow now? Is this band?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Like, if you were a Deadhead, I would assume you are a huge John Mayer fan.
Okay.
But
so
like, it's an entirely different. Like when I talk about Venn diagrams all the time, because just like Kamala, I love Venn diagrams. Those circles don't even touch. John Mayer's in the middle, holding one in one hand and one in the other. Like everything else John Mayer does is over here, and then there's the Dead & Company band that he's in, and it's massively successful.
see, as not a big John Mayer fan, although he's one of those guys I acknowledge is a very good musician. I just am not into him.
Sure.
He does seem to me, as an outsider, like it does kind of make sense. I get that it.
I don't know anything about the Grateful Dead, so if it makes sense, I mean, obviously somebody thought it made sense.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he's a smart dude. Yeah, he's just I have been a huge fan of his as a songwriter and performer. His, like I said, his Room for Squares. I was a senior in high school when his "I Want to Run Through the Halls of My High School" song came on, and it was it's just kind of one of those things. Like that was a song at the right time, at the right place for me, thinking about going to college and doing whatever came next. I mean, I remember the person who came into my classroom and had one of those little round CD players where you pop it open. It's like a little boom box, but like a new generation of boom box, I guess.
Yeah, they're more aerodynamic.
It looked like an alien boom
Yeah.
box, yeah. And he puts this, it was an economics class, and this guy was a financial advisor, and he was coming in and basically talking to us in economics as seniors about, all right, there are some smart things you're going to do, and there's some dumb things you're going to do. And that song had just come out, and he's like, I heard the song, and I really liked it, and I thought it was a good thing to play for you guys, so I just want you to listen to the song. I didn't know John Mayer from nothing. That was the first time I heard that song. And it spawned into this like significant fandom where every time John Mayer announces a new tour, I look at his tour to be like, do I want to go to any of these places? But he goes between touring with his like John Mayer stuff. He has a John Mayer trio band, which is much more jazz and blues, and then he has the Dead & Company, and they've been to St. Louis, and I'm like, I just don't want to go. I don't think that's my scene at a Grateful Dead concert.
You should do it.
Oh, they just played their last show, like ever. So
oh, well, never mind.
They'd been touring. I don't know. They announced that they were done in like 2015, and I think the last show they played was at Wrigley. And then they came back, and it was a really big deal, and they announced that they're done. So I have to probably wait a few years until they're not done anymore.
I don't get jam bands. I just don't get them.
Is that a jam band?
Well, yeah, they're the king of the jam bands.
You mean like the 20-minute songs?
Well, not even just the length of the songs, just the whole genre that has become that thing. It's the Roots and the Dave Matthews. Some people would probably be like, well, a purist would say Dave Matthews isn't, but that kind of genre.
Because of my just complete and open, honest ignorance to the music scene, I don't know what you mean by that. You're listing all these people, but what is it about them that makes them a jam band?
I don't know. I honestly don't know why you get classified as a jam band, but you do, and there are fans that actually it may be the fandom. It may be the people who decide to latch on and just follow you around the country, because there's a contingent of people that just go around. They never stop moving with these bands.
Yeah. It's like an experience. I'm just going to be honest. There are few things in my life that meet the threshold of being an experience. And it's not, I don't have that with music. And I love music, and I play music. I can sing a little bit. I love and appreciate music, but I don't understand the utopian thing that many other people do, which it's like good for them.
Is it drugs? Like, do you have to be on drugs? Is that what's going on?
I am not on drugs.
That's what I was asking. It's the 145 segment. Is it drugs?
I don't know. I am a personally pretty prude person. Like that, I just have always been okay with not being. I don't know. I'm like counter culture.
Me too.
Yes, in a rebellious way, I am super average.
No, I know.
Normal and boring.
I know. It's actually one of the reasons I think we get along really well.
Yeah. No, it's true. Like this is an interesting thing. I have said on the air before. This is one of the riskiest things that I ever say on the air, which is that I support waiting until you're married and consummating a relationship that way and practicing monogamy. That the idea of abstinence should be a part of the conversation. And I will get messages from people like, I am so proud of you for saying that. And I'm like, I'm kind of scared now. What did I just do and what did I say?
Nobody's saying it.
There's nothing else in culture that is saying that other than your church. And their churches aren't even saying that anymore, folks.
No.
Brad?
Yeah, there are churches out there that are not saying that. My church is saying that, but
sure.
Wouldn't you say that most churches, they're just not talking about the subject a lot?
No, they're talking about the subject a lot.
And not saying that at all?
Yeah.
Like they're talking about sex, but they're just not talking about abstinence.
Yeah, I mean, basically what they're doing is they're kowtowing to the culture and what the culture wants and what the culture says because they're trying to remain relevant.
Which is complete and total personal gratification. And as a whole. The idea that you should go to church and come as you are and that's enough is a complete bastardization. Whether you're a Christian or not, you might be an atheist or an agnostic listening right now, but the idea of coming to church and coming as you are and that is enough completely negates the fact that Christianity is based on the idea that somebody had to live a perfect life and die because you suck.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the whole predication of Christianity is that you aren't good enough and you come to church because somebody was. Whether you believe it or not, you might think that's a bunch of hooey and Annie, that's so cute, and she probably believes in the elf on the shelf. I don't know where you are at on that in your own personal faith walk or lack of faith walk, but the idea that you would have churches who would ascribe to Christianity and separate the fact that you are going to hell without the salvation of Jesus Christ is like you're just participating in self-help.
You're a social club.
Yes.
You're not even a church. You're not a faith-based organization. It bothers me because, yeah, like you were saying, people do that. And the phrase, come as you are, like, okay, we'll start there. But I always tell the kids in the youth group, it's like, listen, Jesus loves you right where you're at, but he loves you too much to leave you where you are. So you shouldn't come as you are and then just stay as you are the whole time you're there. I could get really nerdy and theologically here, but the idea is that God is making you into the image of his son, which means there should be some sort of progression of holiness in your life. And if your church is not telling you that, find a different church.
The whole purpose of self-help and self-gratification, you don't seek any of those out if you're happy where you are.
Yeah. You don't join something because you're like, you know what? Everything's good. Everything is great. I want to keep it right here. I'm going to join this other thing.
How I am because I'm so great.
Yeah.
Along with other people who are also so great, even though they're incredibly different than me. And we're going to be great together.
Yeah.
Some might say great again. But you're going to go there and you're going to participate as you are who you are. Like if you are participating in that, here's the thing. I think it's incredibly freeing to be able to admit to yourself, I'm not okay. Like this come as you are. Don't put the pressure on me that how I am is good enough because I know all the secrets. I know all of the dark moments. I know all of the heavy burden that nobody else on the planet understands. So when you get to the point where you get to say, man, I'm coming as I am because I need to leave as he has made me, then that is something that can be very powerful. And also the Bible verse or passage that talks about how you can go to where Jesus was like going to the prostitutes and the tax collectors and everything. Like all of these people, it's like, even then people were like, taxes, really? But I mean, like when the stories are talking about how he didn't turn his nose up at the, air quotes, unclean people of the world. He went to them. He spent time with them. He listened to them. And then he said, go and sin no more. That's a part that just sometimes doesn't get included in the story. But to suggest that this is all because we was talking about John Mayer and Grateful Dead, but to suggest that I would say, no, I actually do believe that abstinence is a good plan. And I think you should hear that from somebody other than your parents or your Sunday school teacher. I'm going to say it. I know that people are going to hear me and go, that's real cute, Annie. And people will and have messaged me afterwards to ask me about my past, and they want to know the details. Regardless of if that was my practice or if it wasn't my practice, it still is something that is by design what is best for people, in my opinion. And I get to have one, and you get to disagree with it. But nobody's saying it. So it's like super counterculture to now be like, I just do the perceived boring apple pie thing, and life might be good for you.
It's funny because the things that people think do sell or do attract people, which is the sort of, hey, everything's fine. Come in here and we'll pat you on the back and you'll be okay. Those organizations and churches are all shrinking, while churches statistically throughout the country that preach repentance and look, you have to become in his image, not your own. They're all growing. So people move with their feet, not with their mouth.
Well, like I said, it's always unfulfilling if you're told you're just fine the way you are in anything. Forget religion in sum total. If you've got somebody out there like a clothing company going, it's okay to be, this many pounds overweight. Just stay exactly the way you are. And here's the clothes that you can buy that make you feel beautiful. At the end of the day, if it doesn't make you feel beautiful because you have something inside telling you that, the clothing company just wants you to buy their stuff. You got to be introspective enough and reflective enough to know that we aren't all perfect all the time, regardless of the religious stuff. All right, let's take a quick break. Morning Frey Show in a minute.
Wesley is a truck driver.
I drive a truck, and I love what I do.
A truck driver with IRS troubles.
They told me I owed them $43,000.
It got really bad.
Quite a few letters in the mail. They were talking about wage garnishment, coming after my house, my car. Yeah, they don't play around. I seriously thought that I was going to lose everything.
One sleepless night, Wesley finally made a call to Optima Tax Relief at 2 a.m.
Kind of figured I'd get a machine, but I didn't. I actually got to talk to an actual person in the middle of the night.
He found just what he was looking for.
Oh, they were great people. You need a team of people that know what they're doing. Optima Tax, they know what they're doing.
Optima Tax Relief came through with flying colors.
I saved an incredible amount of money. Happy don't even come close. I was absolutely overjoyed.
Take Wesley's advice.
If you're in any kind of trouble with the IRS, call Optima Tax Relief. Don't trust anybody else.
Call Optima for a free consultation. Call 800-987-6122. 800-987-6122. 800-987-6122. Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
There's a lot I could tell you about Fountains Family Dentistry in Fairview Heights, Illinois, but I have a comment here from a person who went there. It just says that Dr. Parker and his staff are excellent, gentle, fast, and painless, while still being very thorough and always deliver great results. that pretty much says it all. That's what I try to communicate when I talk about Dr. Ty Parker and Fountains Family Dentistry, is that it's not just that he's great and good at what he does, making sure that you have a great experience. His whole staff is in that same mold, and they're going to help make sure that you're not only there for as little time as possible, but that you're going to get the thorough, great care and results that you need while not wasting a whole lot of your time. Early appointments on some days, late appointments on some days. That's all to benefit you. That is certainly not to benefit their schedule. That is for your schedule. FountainsFamilyDentistry.com is where you can go. And at the homepage right there, it'll say make an appointment. So you can do that. I'm clicking on it right now. Or you can call them at 618-622-1800. But the easiest way to start is at FountainsFamilyDentistry.com.
If you need a new bath or shower, call my friends at Bath Fitter of St. Louis. Mark Cox here. We love our new shower and tub enclosure. It looks fantastic. No demolition, no mess, and a lifetime guarantee. Right now, they're having a sale for 20% off up to $1,000 or zero interest until 2028. That's 5 years. Call 636-338-1648. That's 636-338-1648. Bath Fitter of St. Louis. If you love eating out, let me introduce you to Satchmo's Bar and Grill. Mark Cox here from my friends at Satchmo's. They have daily lunch and dinner specials. They're a from-scratch kitchen with food and cocktails, and they have weekly specials. Wagyu meatloaf on Monday nights, steak night on Wednesdays, burger night for just $6.95 on Thursdays, and plenty of flat-screen TVs to catch the big game. Check them out on Facebook or online at satchmosgrill.com at Olive and 141.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio. 97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
The early stages. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. That from the White House as the State Department, defense officials, and the UN investigate the detention of a U.S. soldier who crossed into North Korea.
Our primary concern at this time is ascertaining clearly the well-being of this individual.
White House spokeswoman Karine Jean-Pierre not confirming many details yet. The soldier had been in trouble and was supposed to be heading back to the U.S.
A senior defense official tells Fox News the soldier is Private Second Class Travis King. He had recently been held in a South Korean jail after getting in a fight with local citizens. According to the source, King said during his detainment he did not want to return to America. As King was taken to an airport to board a flight for home, the official said he left the airport while out of an escort site. The Pentagon has officially said King was on a tour when he bolted from the group to cross into North Korea.
Fox's Gernal Scott. President Biden emphasizing a U.S. commitment to Israel, even as some House Democrats plan to boycott a speech by the visiting Israeli president over the treatment of Palestinians. Another Trump-related probe may be winding down. The former president's special counsel, Jack Smith, notified him in a letter he is a target in the probe of efforts to overturn the 2020 election.
Speaker Kevin McCarthy says this is just another example of the Department of Justice weaponizing the federal government.
It's time and time again. I think the American public is tired of this.
On the Democrat side, House Caucus Chair Pete Aguilar, who served on the January 6th committee investigating former President Trump's role, says he wasn't surprised.
We said time and time again our focus was to seek the truth and to make sure that there's accountability.
Trump says he received the letter on Sunday and was given 4 days to report to a grand jury.
Fox's Ryan Schmelz on Capitol Hill. America is listening to Fox News.
Hi, I'm Martha Stewart. Every year, more than 4 million pets enter shelters here in the United States. My friends at American Humane have been helping animals since 1877. The goal is to ensure that pets have a safe shelter, especially during natural disasters. Adopting a shelter pet allows shelters to help more animals awaiting care. Please consider adopting today and take some time to learn more about American Humane's other work at americanhumane.org.
Do you have heart failure and often hear,
"Those stomach issues ruined your birthday"?
"You're too tired to play catch, Grandpa."
Sweetie, you haven't touched your tools since the carpal tunnel syndrome diagnosis.
If these seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, talk to your cardiologist and ask about transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy, or ATTR-CM, a rare and underdiagnosed disease that gets worse over time. Learn more at connecttoyourheart.com. That's connecttoyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Changeable clouds out there throughout the afternoon, and there will be scattered thunderstorms once again. 89 for the high. Tonight, scattered thunderstorms this evening and overnight, some possibly strong to severe. 75 for the overnight low. Wednesday and Thursday, the extreme heat is going to stay away, but we're still talking 92. Wednesday and Thursday, partly sunny. Each day brings spot storms. This is 97.1 FM Talk Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
So Air Comfort Service is happy to come to your home and do an HVAC system check. It's important that you know that it's $54, and that's pretty affordable to have them come out and make sure that your air conditioner is working the way it's supposed to be. Unlike a lot of heating and cooling companies, Air Comfort Service checks your entire system, not just the AC, because it's summer. That's why they call it a system check. So when you work with Air Comfort Service, they're there to make sure that you are taken care of. This can help really prevent some very costly repairs and make sure that your air conditioner, your system is working in good order to keep you in your comfort zone. Also, right now, if you reach out to them at 314-513-0091, that's 314-513-0091, you're going to be able to talk to them about some of the great opportunities they have for you when it comes to maintenance plans or rebates and financing that really makes the process more affordable for you. They care about that. They know that the AC going out is not the best part of your day, and they're there to make sure that you are comfortable when you make that phone call. 314-513-0091, aircomfortservice.com.
Men, are you suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE? The medical providers at Paramount Men's Medical Center offer breakthrough treatments that eliminate problems in the bedroom without pain or surgery. 98% of men see instant results on their first office visit. Listen to a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Paramount Men's Medical Center offers breakthrough medical treatments that eliminate ED and PE. Men are even lasting 90 minutes or longer, regardless of age or medical history.
But that's not all. For a limited time only, call Paramount Men's Medical Center now, and your initial consultation and first treatment are completely free. You'll see instant results right in the office. You'll even get a gift that enhances your performance in the bedroom. All this, worth hundreds of dollars, is free if you call now. 314-720-8081. 314-720-8081. That's 314-720-8081.
Diamonds Direct's Midsummer Savings Event is happening right now with an extra 20% savings, an expanded selection, and in-store designer appearances. Take an extraordinary 20% off Diamonds Direct's already unbeatable prices on rings, earrings, bracelets, bands, colored gemstone jewelry, and thousands of engagement ring mountings. Meet the designers who've flown in with all new collections for the summer. The best savings, the best selection, the best value. Don't miss this once-a-year jewelry shopping event. Get details, showroom hours, directions, and more at diamondsdirect.com.
We all know about the speed of sound, but have you ever thought about the sounds of speeding? Drive too fast and you could hear the sound of your vehicle crashing, because one way or another, speeding catches up with you. Paid for by NHTSA.
For a hole in your roof or a whole new roof, Frederick Roofing.
Over 90,000 satisfied customers since 1929. Frederick Roofing, 314-645-2000.
Not just right and left, right and wrong. We're discussing it every day on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. This hour of the Annie Frey Show is brought to you by Ruler Foods. Low prices, no coupons. Ruler Foods.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. We've had a busy show so far. We spoke with Cully Stimson at 12:25 about the Trump potential indictment, the letter that he notified his followers on Truth Social that he had received a letter from the lawyer Smith about another potential indictment that is coming down. At 1:05, we talked to Jim Carafano about Sound of Freedom. He went to see it and his thoughts on it. Really interesting reaction from Jim Carafano at 1:05 for that. And then Congressman Jason Smith commented on the IRS whistleblowers that are going to be testifying this week in front of Congress. So lots going on the show so far. And now I have a question for you guys here in the room. When was the last time you saw someone wearing a mask? Do you encounter it?
I think I've seen it within the last month, but it's not common.
Yeah, it seems like I just saw somebody. This is outside of like medical facilities and stuff like that because that's still required in a lot of them. But
if you go into
if I go to a hospital in Illinois, they're going to require me to put a mask on.
I'd rather.
You know what?
Never mind.
I just went to Washington University School of Medicine, and they had been requiring them for years now.
Yeah.
And that was the first time I've been there. They don't have anybody there telling you got to put a mask on.
I'm pretty sure if I walk into a doctor's office right now and they're going to make me put on a mask, I'm going to get a new doctor.
Wow. Okay.
I just don't understand the. I mean, if you're going to a place that is dealing with people who have specific conditions, if you're going to an oncologist, so to speak, if you're going to people who are going to be immunocompromised, be around those people sitting in a waiting room, I'm very understandable about those situations. But if you were going to go to just a dentist or a doctor or somewhere for a checkup, and they're like, "We can't see you unless you wear a mask," I'm gonna be like, "Yeah, I don't think this works."
Well, the crazy thing is that we all just learned how ineffective some of those masks are. You know, I mean, there's been lots and lots of studies more than ever before. And with CF that I have, cystic fibrosis, they had started doing masks in the waiting room for the whole year or two before COVID. So we were just starting to kind of get used to that. And I think because of all of the studies that have come out about ineffective masks, now they're not doing it because they know that some of those were probably useless the whole time.
That's super interesting.
I got to text my husband and ask a couple questions.
What can you share publicly?
Hold on.
While you're texting.
Yeah. I really want to know before I carry on this conversation.
Yeah, I'm trying because I feel like I have seen somebody with a mask on.
You know what's
Just
crazy?
at random.
Is in the CF office, they would, and the doctors, not all the patients necessarily, but all of the doctors and nurses and even the people taking your insurance card and all that, they would have to put on a full, not gown, but like a full disposable shirt and almost pants that they just almost like stick, it was like a Snuggie. You stick your hands into.
Snuggie better get on that.
But it was disposable,
It's an
and so they'd come into your room, they'd treat you or whatever, they'd ask you a couple questions, they'd walk out, throw the whole thing away. They were doing that for a couple years before COVID.
I wonder if the environmentalists got involved.
I wonder too, because I mean, it was a lot.
Big environment.
Yeah, big environment got involved.
California fast food institution In-N-Out Burger announced that it will soon ban employees from wearing masks in 5 of the 7 states in which it operates restaurants.
Yep.
In exceptions, workers in California and Oregon will still be able to mask. Doesn't that kind of just lead you to be like, I'm pretty sure I don't want to live there? Just the fact that if you're going to put that position in place as if somehow or another the people in California and Oregon are different.
their immune systems just aren't as strong there.
California and Oregon, I think is
They are different.
Yeah.
According to the memo, I'd throw Illinois in there as well, just for the record. According to the memo, employees will no longer be allowed to wear face coverings come August 14th unless they have a medical note. The company did not immediately respond to a request for comment. The policy was implemented to, quote, help to promote clear and effective communication between employees and customers. Imagine In-N-Out understanding the disadvantage that exists with a masked mouth when you're trying to smile or communicate some level of customer service between In-N-Out employee and person who desires burger, that the mask is a hindrance to that. And we did it to our children for years in an educational setting. Just imagine that.
Or speak through a speaker that already sounds like this. And then you add a mask to it and it sounds like this.
I one of the mask things that really agitated me was not so much people who chose to wear them or not wear them. I'm a big believer in the whole time. It should have been up to us. It probably, in essence, was up to us. You were always making choices as to where you went and how you went there. But the way that people ineffectively wore masks, like how often would you reuse a mask?
Gosh.
All the time. It was just like the standard mask I keep in my car.
It'd be under your seat, and you're like, dang it, I got to wear a mask. So you dig it out underneath the things that are growing under the seat in the car from the fact that your kids don't keep anything clean ever. And you're like, fine, I'll put the mask on my face and be healthy. What does this taste?
Yeah, gross. It's got old tea on it.
Tea.
You're lucky if it's tea. It might be like sour milk or
Something fermented.
There was a mask. I don't remember. There were the names for all these things. There was one that I got right before COVID that I was so happy that I had gotten because I could just pull it over my whole head and move it. It was like a sleeve.
Yeah, the neck gaiter.
Yeah, the gator. That's what it was called. I love that thing. I would wear that everywhere.
They were not
Useful.
approved. They were not approved in a lot of places in lieu of masks.
Exactly.
Like the mask that I got out from underneath my chair that I've been wearing for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Was okay.
People are like, "Oh, you're doing your part."
Yeah, and then
Good
I
job.
stopped doing my part. It is important that we do remember the personal choice that is involved in anything like this. That if somebody is out there and they choose to wear a mask, they choose to wear a mask, and you don't need to like have your day be ruined because someone made a decision that is different than yours. And we need to remember that, and we need to really try to bring that idea of autonomy back, where I know what's best for me. And sometimes I know what's best for me, and I'm going to do the other thing anyway. That's a lot of people making those kinds of decisions on a regular basis. If you think you're going to come in and legislate and, criminalize those types of decisions, I really don't know where it starts and stops, or if it ever does stop.
No, it doesn't stop. That's the idea, is that it just encroaches more and more and more.
It does amaze me, though, that the number of people that were like super like aggressive about trying to force you to wear a mask now are the people that are probably still wearing masks now, but they're like, can't we just let bygones be bygones, and I'll wear my mask and you leave me alone? And you kind of go, I guess I'll let it slide. Because there is a part of me that is like irritated.
I just found out one of the
people.
medical providers that we frequent still requires masks.
Was that what you were waiting to find out?
Yeah.
Can you talk about him?
No.
Okay.
Because I love that doctor. But if I had to go back in there and they required me to wear a mask, I would not take my
You wouldn't do
back
it?
there. Mm-mm.
Or would you just go and not wear a mask and just see if they said anything?
Oh, absolutely. Yes, I would go in without a mask.
And if they told you got to wear one, you'd say, bye.
I would say I'm not wearing one.
Yeah.
I'm a healthy person, and I'm not wearing one, and I'm not a threat to you. Oh, boy. You got some decisions to make. Thanks, In-N-Out, for bringing this to my attention. God dang it. The receptionist will ask you to put one on.
Ooh, I wonder what happens if you say no. I kind of want to see.
Yeah, I'm going to find out because, I think there's an appointment coming up that will bear that out. Why? Like, what is the deal? The comment here says that there is a recording that says it has to be done, and it is according to the Illinois mandate. But
really?
But I also saw on our YouTube live chat that I don't need to say who it was necessarily, although they put the comment up there, had been into some Illinois hospitals recently and were not required to wear one.
Yeah, I got a message saying St. E's no longer requires masks.
I
feel like I need to go make a phone call.
There's a lot of
take this show on the road.
There's a lot of us looking at each other going, what are you going to say? What are you going to say? I wonder if you walked into one of those places right now and they said, well, the state of Illinois, if you said, oh yeah, we're still within the 30 days. if they would know what you're talking about. Because a lot of these people have no clue. They'll just refer to something. They have no idea what the laws are. They have no idea that these things have been challenged or even that they're over. They're just still doing the same thing because it makes them feel comfortable. There's no science in it. And you know how I am. I always trust the science.
The science.
I'm really mad right now.
I can tell.
Oh, hell no.
You just found out you're going to have to confront somebody.
Oh, I'm going to. Because it would require, the place would require children to do it as well.
Mm-mm.
Why? People, get on the YouTube right now, folks, and tell me if you are going places and still being required to wear masks. Because in my mind, I really did filter out so many places that were sticklers about masks. You know, we talked about, was it you that heard someone's like, we gonna do the anti-Frey policy or whatever it was, or was that Brad? That was somebody met you in an event, I think, and was saying that they do what we would do, which is you walk into a place that they're requiring masks, but you don't put the mask on. You bring a mask with you, and you wait for somebody official to tell you to put the mask on. That was the plan for a long time. And if I was asked to put the mask on, I would put the mask on. I wouldn't cause a scene or anything, but I just didn't go there anymore unless there was no other option available. And even then, it's like, how bad do I need said thing? I wonder if there are places that are still requiring it, and I just have weeded them out of my life. You guys haven't, when was the last time you put a mask on your face?
I would say 6 months ago when I went to my cardiologist was probably the last time.
Have you been since then?
No. Every 6 months.
So it's still possible that they are requiring.
Yeah, I actually have an appointment coming up in the beginning of August, and I would be able to report on this. But
I really thought that Center for Advanced Medicine was going to have a man, or at least they used to have somebody sitting at the door when you walked in, and you'd have to sign in, put your name tag on, and put a mask on. And that booth is gone, and I'm walking around, there's nobody there. So thinking back, it probably was the last time I was there, which would have been something like 6 months ago.
My gosh.
I don't think I've worn one since then.
It's out of your mind, right? Like, going back to thinking about the time of masks seems like a crazy time.
It does when you look at pictures and stuff now. You're like, what the heck? Yeah.
It seems like it was like back in the day with all the capital letters, and you can't relate to having to do it anymore.
No. And I remember at the very beginning of COVID, a group of friends and we had kids about the same age. We all went out into like rural Illinois to go to some cheese curd factory we knew was open because nothing was open. So we just drove out there one day, and we were wearing masks, and we were taking pictures of each other because it was like, oh, look, this is going to be a moment in time. We had no clue that it would last 2 years, but now even so, it's been, I would say unofficially the end of that era was March of 2022, roughly, because that's about when the airplane mandate ended, and then everything started changing. So we're more than a year past it, but it seems like so much longer ago, which is good because it means things are going back to normal.
Well, if you've got mask stories, I'd love to hear them. Come leave a comment on the Andy Frey YouTube channel. You can vote in the YouTube live chat poll as well. Are you buying a Powerball ticket? Yes or no? Man, stay tuned to see what happens next. And
you got that gleam in your eye.
What's that?
Whatever it is, I don't know. I'm waiting to see. I'm saying stay tuned because I don't know what's going to happen.
What is the gleam in my eye?
That thing right there is what it is.
What is it? I'm just sitting here trying to get out of this.
I don't know.
Really?
It's not really a gleam. It's more of the start of a laser beam.
Cool hype song.
Yeah, this is like Hot Queen.
Yeah, that's right. We'll be right back.
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Jen Teskey with Remax Alliance. She is the best, and her team is the best. It's not just Jen. She has an entire team, staff of people who help make your buying and selling in Illinois process of real estate smooth sailing. They go over and above to make sure that you understand when you're going to list your house, what you can expect. They advise you on what you can do to improve your ability to sell top dollar, to sell quickly, to sell within the time frame that you were looking for. They also are very open to having a conversation with you if you're looking to sell a home in the future and maybe not looking to list immediately right now. to be able to talk to you about timelines and maybe market expectations and what could be coming down the pike. Jen Teskey is the best, and she is taking your phone calls, your texts right now. If you're interested in starting that conversation at 618-541-1010, 618-541-1010. She has over 15 years of experience helping families exactly like yours with the selling and the buying of homes. It's an incredibly competitive market right now. You need the best. You need Jen Teskey with RE/MAX Alliance. Online at jenteskeyhomes.com.
Being a baseball play-by-play broadcaster demands a blend of learned mechanics, intense preparation, and a calm sense of entertainment. How hard is it to do this job? Let's talk to the ones who do it. This is Matt Spiegel. My new podcast, The PBP, Voices of Baseball, will bring those conversations to you as the best working and former broadcasters tell you why and how they do it. New episodes come every Thursday all summer long. Follow The PBP, Voices of Baseball, on the Odyssey app or wherever you find your podcasts.
Did you know the IRS is a super creditor? Hi, I'm Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. The IRS is the only creditor that can create a bill for you without your permission, then drop the hammer and aggressively collect it by wiping out your bank account, seizing your assets, and levying your wages. No other creditor can do that, and this can all happen without a court approval. If you owe back taxes, you need to be prepared to face the super creditor. Don't just sit back and take it. Fight back. At the Lance Drury Law Firm, we know how to use the laws to your advantage and go toe-to-toe with the IRS. Our office is located right here in St. Louis. Contact the Lance Drury Law Firm today for a free consultation with me, or visit us at lancedrurylaw.com or call 314-260-6120. That's 314-260-6120 to get started.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
I was having a lot of sinus infections. My sinuses were clogged, pressure, headaches.
Linda suffered for years with chronic sinus infections.
You don't feel like doing anything. When you feel like your head is completely clogged, all you want to do is just lay down and sleep. And the pressure, it's just not fun, always walking around with a headache.
Now, her issues are gone. How? A minimally invasive procedure done in the office of St. Louis Sinus Centers called balloon sinuplasty.
I really did not know what it was like to feel like you're really breathing and not being so clogged up. I would do it again in a heartbeat, and I would definitely recommend it for someone else.
Do you suffer with chronic sinus infections, facial pain, pressure, congestion? Find out if balloon sinuplasty is the solution for you. Set an appointment today with St. Louis Sinus Centers. Call 314-332-2885. 314-332-2885. That's 314-332-2885.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Couponing. Wow, you didn't strike me as the coupon type.
Just trying to stay ahead of inflation. Gas, groceries, everything. It's all more expensive. I need to save wherever I can.
Have you tried Upside yet?
Upside? What's that?
It's a free app that I use that pays cash back for every gallon of gas I buy. You've got to buy gas to get around anyway. Might as well get paid for it.
Come on, does that really add up to anything?
I've already made around $200. The extra cash helped pay down my bills, and I even had a little extra left to treat myself.
And the Upside app is free?
Totally free, and the cash back is real. You can transfer the cash right to your bank account.
I'm downloading Upside right now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code OIL to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code OIL for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code OIL for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Join Custom Coatings STL on July 22nd for their first annual Custom Car Show fundraising event. 100% of proceeds will go to the Maryville Dance Team, SEGS for Vets, and the St. Louis Sports Outreach Organization. The event will take place on July 22nd at Deschênes High School in St. Charles. There will be food, raffles, awesome cars, and fun for the whole family. Check them out and learn more at their Facebook page, 2023 Custom Coatings STL Car Show, or online at customcoatingsstl.com.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Summer's just getting started. Still need your air conditioner checked? Schedule your HVAC system check for only $54. This is a limited time offer. For details, visit aircomfortservice.com.
We've gone out a few times. You ready to put a ring on it? Download the Odyssey app and listen to 97.1 FM Talk on your phone or by telling your smart speaker to play it. This is St. Louis's home for conservative talk. This is The Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Instagram at The Annie Frey Show.
Yeah, this is the Annie Frey Show. I don't usually come in from breaks, but what is happening right now is a continuation of what I just said at the end of the last segment. Annie, you got a gleam in your eye. Something's going on. And she is on the phone and making a couple calls, and I think she's going to walk back in here at some point when these calls end and have something to report to us. I honestly don't know exactly what that is. I have an idea of what that is.
Dude, I told you that wasn't a gleam. That was a laser beam.
That you're right. It wasn't. It was a gleam to the extreme, a beam. But until she comes back in, which really could be at any moment, I have no idea. Maybe we'll do the whole segment without her. No idea. But Brad, when we talk about the COVID era, I'm defining it. And people have kind of chimed in on this. I'm defining it as March 2020 through March 2022. Now, there are things that were still going on past that. But to me, that's when the school mandates were starting to end. You had a lot of pushback at the end of that school year.
It's when the courts really just started saying, okay, you're done. Enough is enough.
And I think that's my point, is that it's as if now we're over a year away, far from at least March of 2022, if you're using that as your definition.
Mm-hmm.
Are we pretending as a society like that just didn't happen?
No, I'm not.
Well, I'm not either, but
I don't know about other people.
It seems as if a lot of the people who are so extreme about this stuff, they've totally backed down.
Yeah.
And now we're acting like, well, I mean, it
bygones be bygones.
Yes.
No, I'm not. Whenever I look at what happened during COVID, like some of my favorite things to do whenever I'm bored is just to come across something that we do. Like, do you remember in California when they closed the beaches and then they filled the
filled the skate parks?
Filled the skate parks with sand. Like there was that guy who showed up as the Grim Reaper on Florida beaches because they weren't closed down. Just the weird, crazy things that we did as governments and we did as a society and that people did in general. And then there was also was it the Canadian bro that was like, listen, guys? And everybody's like, oh, yeah, listen to this guy. And everything he said was true. Do you remember that guy?
I do.
And, but yeah, to look back, no, I'm not going to let bygones be bygones. I'm going to, and it might be funny, it might be whatever, but I'm going to chide you and I'm going to remind you about the stuff that you supported if you supported all of that. I remember that was you. That wasn't us. That was you.
I'm just going to give you a report if you're listening.
What are we talking about?
Annie Frey has walked back into the studio and she's no longer on the phone. And we're talking about the COVID era.
I have the wheels of the Illinois state government on the case.
Really?
Yeah, you're darn right.
Can you explain any more, or we gotta wait?
Well, the purpose of the requiring of the masks is due to the Illinois mandate.
Right.
I don't think that mandate is in place.
I'm pretty sure it's not.
So if you want to require masks for your office, require them. But you can't say it's because of the Illinois mandate.
That is correct.
So
we think.
It very well could be a situation where for everybody who, I don't know what you guys said on the air. I didn't call and chew anybody out. I didn't talk to anybody.
I just said you had the gleam in your eye. You're carrying it out.
Fact-finding mission. And if I were to create a scenario where this doctor's visit could take place and the people who are participating in it didn't have to wear a mask to it now, if you are somebody who still wants to wear masks, you would still get to.
That's the way it's always been.
We've been talking about it for 3 years. For 3 years. So the question is there a mandate in place? It seems very strange to me that some people are going to hospitals and doctors' offices in Illinois and not having the requirement to wear masks. But this particular office would be. It's possible they don't know that the mandate is up. I wouldn't be terribly surprised if that was not something. I mean, good grief. J.B. Pritzker extended the mandate in the state of Illinois longer than Joe Biden had it in place for the country. Because he's a tyrant. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, yep. So I'm just going to find out what the deal is. And then if the response is the mandate is in place, then we're mandated to do it. And if I don't want to participate in that, I'll have to go somewhere in Missouri. If the mandate is in place, then we will stay and wear masks, or we will go somewhere else that doesn't require them. That'll be my choice. If the mandate isn't in place, I would like to know if the medical provider, absent of a legal requirement by the state of Illinois, still thinks that it is medically necessary to require me to wear a mask when I'm in there. Because I have questions about that.
I think it would be comical if there were still a mandate in Illinois, considering almost nobody's following it.
Right. So I called people who work in the Illinois government, and I'm going to get an answer. Because a lot of people are going to say, oh, I'm sure that mandate's not still in place. No, I need to know if there is an actual requirement, mandate, by J.B. Pritzker and his, what did you say you're going to sit in the front yard with? A Triton and a what?
A broadsword.
If you win the lottery, you have to borrow J.B. Pritzker's as he's sitting in the front lawn of the state capitol.
With all his toilets.
Except for he doesn't go there. He's in Chicago. To find out if that mandate is still in place. And if it is still in place, holy crap.
Yeah, that'd be more of a story.
I'm sorry that the 2:00 hour is just pretty much me asking questions. I don't have answers.
Well, I
to
think
them.
it's great that, your government is at work for you as a citizen of Illinois. You called 1-800-GOVERNMENT, and the government said, let me get back to you on that. I think that's great.
I called the government. If that person is listening right now, they're laughing that I just referred to him as the capital T-G, the government.
The government.
The government.
We were talking while you were gone, just to fill you in.
I hope so.
We were
we were in fact talking.
We were moving the microphones as close to the door as possible and putting them up to tin cans, seeing if we could hear. We were talking about the COVID era, and the point that I was getting ready to make is that it actually has taken a while, but not exclusively, but mostly, we have established the boundaries of what was okay and what hasn't. Now, the mandates and the executive orders being extended, that's one area that they haven't defined, and that has been abused. But in a lot of ways, a lot of the mandates and things, the courts have pushed back and denied that they were able to do a lot of that stuff. And I think that's great. It's just taken a little time.
How dramatically different is the entire country if Donald Trump wins the 2020 election? When you think about everything that has taken place since the election, the November 2020 election, I mean, if Donald Trump wins in November of 2020, January 6th doesn't happen, at least not like that. If Donald Trump wins and you think about all of the immediate things that Joe Biden did when he became the president, the day one executive order stuff, the energy, the dramatic about face in anti-energy, American energy policies that are on the altar of far left progressive policies. The idea that Joe Biden greenlit the Nord Stream pipeline that filled the pockets of Russia to be able to be emboldened to do what they did with Ukraine. I don't know what Donald Trump does. I don't know if he's in place, what happens that when Joe Biden is in place doesn't, or vice versa. All I know is that everybody feared and lamented the obvious outcome of Donald Trump being president would result in World War III, being disrespected across the entire globe, crumbling structure within this country when it comes to healthcare, education, and that it would be fascist. Man, don't ever use the word fascist unless you Google it first. In order to be a fascist, one of the number one things you have to be able to do is to control the messaging. You have to be able to control the narrative. And if the Democrats don't have the narrative in their back pocket, they got nothing. They got not a dang thing, because you've got these puppets that are on the mainstream media that are kind of not mainstream anymore, because aside from airports, nobody watches the crap anymore. So it's kind of awkward to call it mainstream. if you don't have such a strong contingent of people willing to puppet the same message over and over and over again, that orange man bad, and that all of these terrible things would happen because this man is so terrible, he's done all of these horrible things that didn't even end up being true. And in the meantime, the guy who's in power right now has done so many horrible things with a family that is corrupt and has gotten him into the White House because he clawed his way to the top on the backs of you, the American taxpayer. It all happened because the media didn't want to look at it. And they wanted you to say, no, look over here. It's like what you do when you are trying to distract your child from seeing something in the other room. You're just like making a scene and singing their favorite songs. And you start doing the dances and like saying their names and using a bunch of inflections in your voices. That's what the media does because they don't want you to look at Joe Biden. They need you to look at Donald Trump, and they'll dump stuff all over him that complicates the situation so much so that if Brad or Ryan or I want to criticize Donald Trump for something that he does that we think is boneheaded, now the right, the far right or the super, what is the ultra MAGA, whatever they are going to be out there and say that we're not loyal enough to Donald Trump. How can you look at Donald Trump and say he's flawless? Nobody says he's flawless. I think that, Ryan, you'd have a few things about Donald Trump that if you could edit or modify, the list would make itself somewhat rapidly.
Yeah. Yeah, there would be a list for sure.
He gets it his own way, and it makes it complicated because even on this live chat that we have today, we have people who are, talking about how, suggesting that we would say that Donald Trump has never done anything wrong, or that Donald Trump, that of course, none of the accusations towards Donald Trump could be true because Donald Trump is perfect. That has never been, like, these people listen every day. They know how we talk or how I specifically talk about Donald Trump. I have issues with how Donald Trump has handled certain particular things. I'm not afraid to say it, even though sometimes it feels kind of stupid to say it, because when I say it, the people on the right say I'm not loyal, and the people on the left ignore it and assume that I'm ultra MAGA because I might vote for a conservative policy over a liberal one. So there's no winning for trying there. And in the midst of all of this, you've got all the people who are in power who preserve their power based on lies that the media will perpetuate because it keeps them in business. I mean, how often are you sitting there watching the media and going, you are delusional? Like, what facts are you even implementing to come to this conclusion?
Or what are you avoiding? I mean, just as much. Why won't you talk about certain things? Please. I think your question about what does the world look like if Donald Trump wins the 2020 election is it's speculative, but it's easy to see because he was just president. You can see which way the train was running. You wouldn't have a border crisis, or you would, and the media would be talking about it because they'd be still wanting to promote it.
We've lost 85,000 children across the southern border.
Yeah.
85,000 children across the southern border lost because we don't know what the heck we're doing. But go back to when Donald Trump was in charge and they were mad about kids in cages. They were from Obama's presidency.
Mm-hmm.
You cared about those kids? No, you cared about the political score. And you saw an opportunity to score a point. You didn't give a damn about those kids. 85,000 children, we don't know where they are. That's just unbelievable. And honestly, if Donald Trump would have won in 2020, that should be the entire predicate for his campaign. We know where we were when he was president. Where would we be if he would have won the 2020 election? Where would we have, what did Joe Biden do that Donald Trump wouldn't have done? What does Joe Biden not have the cojones to do that Donald Trump absolutely would have done first thing in the morning? That's a great campaign, but that's a campaign that's about the American people, which is where I come back to my criticism of Donald Trump. It has to be about us. And I don't want to be selfish about it, but that's the whole thing. You, an average Jane or average Joe citizen out there, are supposed to be the center of attention, and you are an afterthought in this version of American politics. It's a shame. Joe Biden's the president of the United States. He's not capable of doing the job. Nobody thinks he's capable of doing the job, and everybody hates Donald Trump so dang much that they would rather have a living, breathing body as the only requirement to be in the office of the presidency as long as Donald Trump is not it. That is really something. You're going to tell me that that's your case, that's your policy and your position, and tell me you care the most about the country? You can't do better than Joe Biden? A pulse is the minimum and only requirement to be the president of the United States on the Democrat side to stop Donald Trump from getting back there. What are you afraid of? Because I'm looking at the current state of the country right now, thinking I'm kind of afraid of this moment right now. And I don't see, people keep reminding everyone, we got 18 months left before somebody else is the president. There's a lot that can be done in 18 months.
A lot that will happen.
Yep.
Gosh, it's just the amount of things. You would have had vaccine mandates. You would have had the left actually railing against the vaccine because it was Donald Trump's. All the issues that we talk about, they would have been talking about. You would have had a little bit of inflation, but nothing like we see now. You would have had products that were easier to get. You would have had cheaper energy. You would have had probably no war in Ukraine. You would have had still continuation of Abraham Accords in the Middle East, which would have been expanding right now instead of contracting. They haven't gone away. That's good, but they have contracted a little bit. I mean, you could go on and on and on about the way this country would have been different based on that one election.
I'm really mad right now. I don't want to be mad. I mean, it's just frustrating because if I'm the type of person who, if something is stressing me, I have learned I need to identify that thing, specifically the thing that is causing me to feel that pressure. Because if you don't identify what said thing is, how are you going to solve it? In addition to, if you don't identify what that thing is, let's say you do identify what that thing is. The first question is, can I solve it? Maybe the new version of your existence includes this amount of stress and you just have to learn to live with it. Do we have something in front of us right now in this country, in our political system, that we can fix? Or are we at the point where we just have to live with it? I don't know what the answer to that question is. If Donald Trump wins, he's going to fix things. But if Donald Trump wins, this hatred that they have for him is going to exponentially multiply like Hydra for the next 4 years. And then we're going to have to put another Republican in, maybe a Ron DeSantis, whom I like and appreciate and hope is the president one day. Tim Scott, love him. Kristi Noem, love her. Put one of these people up and be like, oh, it's the new face of the Republican Party. There are going to be so many people who hate Republicans. I mean, you can't be a Republican right now. It's not about if you're a Republican. It's where you want Trump. It's the only thing that matters. In politics, on any side of the political aisle, it's the only thing that matters. And it's a divider of people, which is why I always say, if you're looking to make friends at a party, you just go up and go, Donald Trump, am I right? And then said person will start going all in on how they love him or hate him, and you just agree, and you'll be fast friends. Because that's the only thing that matters.
It's great.
It's terrible.
It's a great way to make friends.
You should go do that to all the new people here.
I will. Some of the new bosses.
Yeah. The next time we have, I'm going to video that from around the corner. Let's go. All right. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, are you buying a Powerball ticket? Yes or no? I want to know if you are buying a Powerball ticket, what you're going to do when you win that money. Hannah is going to come in here and give us some of your comments on this when we return. Don't go away.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
TheDiamondShop.net is the website. I want to talk to you about the Diamonds and Doggies event. It's this Thursday, July 20th from 5 to 7:30 p.m. First of all, you get to help the APA by making a purchase, the APA Adoption Center, when you shop at the Diamond Shop from 5 to 7:30 on Thursday. But you also get a great opportunity to help yourself. They have 40% off all color stone in-stock jewelry with sapphires, rubies, emeralds, and more that you can save on. If you're a VIP, which is simple to become on the website, you can go to the Diamond Shop and sign up to become a VIP. You're going to get an extra 10% off during this event. 5% of all of the sales go to benefit the APA Adoption Center. If you are looking to support a local cause and also make a great purchase that you're going to be very proud of, or maybe a gift that you want to give to somebody, the Diamond Shop has this event for you. Diamonds and Doggies, Thursday, July 20th from 5 to 7:30 p.m. And if you're looking to purchase something for a gift, if you're thinking ahead a little bit, Christmas is about 5 months away. They have 6 months, same as cash. So make that shopping trip a little extra special this Thursday. You can find them online at thediamondshop.net.
Join Mosby Building Arts every Saturday from 12 to 1 p.m. on 97.1 FM. Rich Orris and guests give insider tips about renovations, design, construction, exteriors, and more. Tune in to Right at Home with Rich on Saturdays or catch the podcast online.
Stop everything you're doing right now and ask yourself, are you currently receiving steady paychecks? What about when you're retired? Will you receive a monthly check to cover your expenses and also have some fun? Marvin Mitchell and the team at Compass Retirement Solutions calls this mailbox money. It's a monthly check you'll receive throughout retirement. They don't want you to worry about if the money will show up or how much money you'll receive. The only thing they want you to think about is how to spend it when it arrives. Find out how to get enough money in your mailbox every month when you're retired. Call Marvin Mitchell and the Compass Retirement Solutions team at 314-373-1598 to start working on a plan that can help you create the monthly income you'll need in retirement. Call 314-373-1598 right now and schedule a visit with Compass Retirement Solutions. 314-373-1598. Firm offers insurance services. Investments and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and Illinois.
I'm back to doing what I love and more, thanks to the Good Feet store.
This planet is so incredibly beautiful that I can't get enough of it. I did 950 miles on the Pacific Crest Trail, and Good Feet was with me all the way. Your passion's important, but if your body aches and if your heel feels like you've got a nail stuck in it and won't come out, trust me, it's going to wear you down. The Good Feet store knew what they were talking about and took the time to really dial in what I needed. I hiked 84 miles in the Himalaya and to do it pain-free. You think I'm not grateful for Good Feet?
Get ready for your summer adventures. Come to the Good Feet store today. Call 314-317-9494 or visit one of our 2 locations on Olive west of I-270 in the Plaza with Subway or in Shiloh, Illinois across from Deerbergs.
Thanks to the Good Feet store.
Individual results may vary. Consult your physician for medical conditions. Visit the website goodfeetstlewis.com. You deserve comfort in your life. Come in for your free test walk today.
You need a home or commercial security system you can rely on, one that lets you know that the kids got home from school safely, alerts you to an emergency in your home or business, monitors your front porch, and can even manage your thermostat and lights. Reliant Security can do all of that and more. Hi, I'm Dave with Reliant Security, and we're based right here in St. Louis. When you need us, I'll take your call. I've worked for the big box security guys, and I wanted to do things differently, the right way. To protect your home, family, and business, you can rely on us. Visit us at secure-reliant.com.
Today's Annie Frey Show YouTube live chat poll is asking, are you buying a Powerball ticket? Yes or no? I will let you guys know what the listeners voted on in just a couple minutes. The current time is 2:50. This update is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
The Mark Reardon Show.
Did you know that having a Ring camera is racist? Yeah, you're a white supremacist if you have one of those. Amber Athey from The Spectator will explain Tuesday afternoon.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Instagram at The Annie Frey Show.
This is the mellow music I need right now. You ever do boxed breathing?
No.
You ever heard of it?
No.
Is that the in through your nose, out through your mouth stuff?
You breathe in for 4 seconds. You hold it for 4 seconds. You breathe out for 4 seconds. You hold it for 4 seconds. Do you want to know when I do my most boxed breathing? When my son is playing baseball. I'm like,
I get it.
Wait, you sit there, and I seriously am saying to myself, so what if they lose? Like, what happens then? We go home. And that's it. And it's, nobody's putting that pressure on me, and I've gotten a lot better at it. I've actually gotten to the point where I am able to, almost in an out-of-body experience, look at myself and go like, wow, she's really losing it. But you're doing fine. Like a crazy mother. Yeah, it's difficult, but that helps me. Box breathing. If you're stressed, you breathe in for 4, and it's got to be the same 4 seconds, hold for the same 4 seconds, down 4 seconds.
Are you doing it, Ryan?
Does it actually help?
No, he's not even breathing.
No,
yes.
I don't.
I know, he just was like...
Yes, because it takes my focus. I don't know if this is the science behind it, but it takes my focus, all of the worry that's happening in my brain. And it's not normal. It's probably really normal, honestly. It takes the activity in my brain and focuses it on my breathing and causes me to relax for a minute. It helps.
I'll have to try it.
Let's all sit here and breathe together. YouTube live chat poll. Speaking of how you might need to do some box breathing if you won the Powerball.
Yes, today we are asking, are you going to buy a Powerball ticket, yes or no? KK from YouTube said, I had to look up the amount. Okay, I'll buy one. KK is going to buy one.
Have you looked it up yet since the show started? Because Ryan said he's not doing it unless it's over $1 billion.
Look it up. Joe says, heck yes, I'm buying. The dopamine rush I get from even thinking about winning $1 billion is worth my $2.
That is accurate.
Yeah.
It's so fun to sit there and think about how rich you are, but then when you lose, you're like, oh, how poor am I?
Yep,
Sheepdog.
it's at $1 billion right now.
So you'll play.
So I'll go get a ticket, I guess.
Sheepdog said, yes, I bought a Powerball ticket, and if I win, I'm going to buy Annie a new pair of headphones.
Oh, man, they got delivered today.
Oh, that's exciting.
I don't think they're going to work in here, but tomorrow will be the day to find out.
This
one is...
Oh, those are dangling.
Might be the last day for these suckers.
My iPad I ordered on Prime Day isn't going to be here now until August 10th. It was supposed to be here today.
Oh.
I know.
That's a big change.
Did you get a good deal on it, though?
I did get a good deal.
All right. Let's
Enough to wait a month. Quick Rick says, I might buy a Powerball ticket, but I have to get them early so I have time to fantasize about what I would do with the money. Yes or no is an option, Rick. Here are the final results. Are you going to buy a Powerball ticket, yes or no? With 170 votes, 61% of the people said yes, they are
61%?
61% are buying a Powerball ticket.
Think about this. The estimated jackpot is $1 billion. The cash value is $516.8.
Mm-hmm.
That's the lump sum you get?
And they say to take the cash value.
Yeah, I would.
Mm-hmm.
Because it seems like if you're really bad with money, it would be better to take it over time, though. Because then you'd get a little bit each month.
Not if you're spending money that you don't, if you don't know how to not spend money you don't have.
Yeah, but it just seems like if you had, let's say you're getting $10,000 a month.
But the thing is you're not collecting interest on that money that they're giving to you, and inflation is taking some of that money.
No, I'm not saying, of course, it's always better to take the cash financially. But I just think if you're bad with money, it seems like it would be better for you.
The financial advisor. We had a guy on at 12:45 that was talking all about that.
He doesn't know anything.
Yeah, he's crazy. But also at the same time, I'm telling you that if you take it in installments over the course of time, these people will spend the money that they haven't received yet.
Mm-hmm.
Just at a larger scale.
Yeah, that's probably true.
My state representative, Amy Ellick, has confirmed that there is no mandate. And my state senator, Erica Harris, is also looking into some more details on this for me. So there is no mask mandate. So we will see if that changes.
Wow.
She's coming in armed.
No, I'm not.
She just is informed.
With information.
I want to come in unmasked. That's it.
Yes.
That's it. And it's very possible that, like I said before, maybe the office doesn't realize that it isn't in place anymore. Best construction in the scenario, possibly. I just want to be able to walk in and go, we're not going to wear masks. And they go, okay, go to room 3.
Is this a report we get tomorrow?
No.
Oh, okay.
But maybe soon. Within the next few weeks, because the appointment isn't within the next few weeks, for sure. You've bought your Powerball ticket?
No, I have not.
You're going to?
I'm going to, yeah.
I'll buy.
Yeah, I'm going to get mine after work.
I have already gotten mine. My husband got it, so I need to see it before we find out if it's a winner, because if he disappears.
Yeah, take some selfies with it.
I'm going to be really hurt. He wouldn't do that to me. Thank you for listening today. Check out the podcast for Congressman Jason Smith, Jim Carafano, and Cully Stimson on all the big news of the day. And as it continues to develop, keep it right here on 97.1 FM Talk. The Mark Reardon Show up next.